Part 6. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 51. The battle between Xiao Xian and Zen Master Tianlu soon spread throughout Nanming. His reputation is even more frightening, and also discourages the forces that secretly want to take action against the Xiao family. After Qianlong's death, Xiao Xian cleaned up a large number of remnants. The changes in dynasties throughout the ages were all based on the flesh and blood of countless people. The Xiao family is no exception. A terminally ill patient needs some blood to be saved again. After everything got back on track, on an auspicious day, Xiao Xian announced the change of dynasty. The king was Xiao Qingyun, and the country was named Nanming. Both Xiao Xian and Xiao Qingyun were extremely satisfied with the name of Nanming. Nanming means the rise of the Xiao family, and it is also a stepping stone for him to enter Tianzhou. For Xiao Qingyun, the reincarnated empress, it is a testimony on her journey to becoming a king. Everyone was surprised to learn that Xiao Xian was not the king. That throne, which symbolized power, once caused the 8 great families to kill each other. He even let the royal prince eat his father and kill his brother, even Qianlong, who was the king. In order to consolidate his position, he did not hesitate to kill his own flesh and blood, and even committed treason. But Xiao Xian gave such a throne that symbolized power to Xiao Qingyun. This is simply unimaginable. Xiao Qingyun secretly breathed a sigh of relief when he heard Xiao Xian's decision not to be the king. If Xiao Xian wanted to be the king of a country, she would be unwilling to do so despite all her wishes. There is nothing we can do about Xiao Xian. His strength and power cannot be shaken by himself. You can never guess what his final trump card is, let alone what his next plan will be. Even as the reincarnated empress, she was helpless against Xiao Xian like this. The day of the coronation. Xiao Qingyun was wearing a red robe, with a beautiful face and a clear and powerful temperament. After ascending to the throne, a huge flow of luck gathered from all around. Her cultivation realm has been upgraded from the original 5th level of God transformation to the great perfection of God transformation, becoming the second person present after Xiao Xian. Seeing this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh at the talent of the reincarnated empress. Even if she didn't practice the martial arts skills from her previous life, she could still become the most dazzling one. The Supreme Divine Court is worthy of being the treasure that Xiao Qingyun fought so hard to win in his previous life. Even Jamal Xiao's thunder ceremony is not as good as it. The people around him were shocked by Xiao Qingyun's strength and felt even more incredible. But one thing they knew very well. The Xiao family will have a genius who is not inferior to Xiao Xian in the near future. Xiao Qingyun slowly opened his eyes and observed everyone's expressions without any trace. When he saw that Xiao Xian was not surprised by his changes, Xiao Qingyun was shocked. Instant realization. She had suspected that Xiao Xian knew her secret before. But I never thought that he even knew that he was a reincarnation. Otherwise he wouldn't have been so calm. Facing Xiao Xian's half-smiling look, Xiao Qingyun has already got the answer. As the reincarnated empress, she hated this uncontrollable situation. She even wondered whether Xiao Xian was the reincarnation of the old monster from the era. Otherwise, she would not be able to explain everything that happened to Xiao Xian. But after the Lord God realm, almost all records about that era were destroyed. It seems to be covering up something. It seems that the only way to find the answer is from those ruins. Thinking of this, Xiao Qingyun's scalp felt numb. If he is really the reincarnation of an old monster from that era, even if she is reincarnated thousands of times, not enough for Xiao Xian to play with. Xiao Qingyun suddenly felt fear in her heart. She really didn't dare to be disrespectful to Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian didn't know these little thoughts of Xiao Qingyun. In his eyes, she was just a reincarnated empress, even with the blessing of the Supreme Divine Court. He can't make any waves here. Xiao Xian took 2 steps forward and took out the imperial seal and handed it to Xiao Qingyun. This object is called the Jade Seal of the Kingdom, which is the foundation of a country's destiny. Today, the head of our family will give it to you. Seeing this, Xiao Qingyun took it with both hands. Thank you, Master. Over the past few years, Xiao Qingyun has understood one thing, something that can come out of Xiao Xian's hands. Absolutely extraordinary. Sure enough, after she took over the imperial seal, waves of luck are gathering from all around Nanming. It formed a long golden dragon and turned into a streak of black and yellow luck that sank from the top of her head into her body. A wave of dragon power burst out from Xiao Qingyun's body. Immediately afterwards, she felt a breakthrough in her momentum, which would have been impossible had she not suppressed it forcefully. I'm afraid that I will have broken through the Lorelm the moment I took over. In future battles, this black and yellow energy will increase her combat effectiveness several times. Xiao Qingyun looked at Xiao Xian in astonishment. He actually handed over this treasure to her without hesitation. Looking at him in great shock. Although Xiao Xian knew her identity as the reincarnated empress, but there was no conspiracy against her from beginning to end. He even sent her many resources for training. Today even the imperial seal was handed over to her. She had to be shocked by Xiao Xian's shocking courage. She has been reincarnated many times and no longer needs to experience life, death, and suffering. It would be better to quickly spread one's wings under Xiao Xian's protection. Thank you, Master, for the reward. Qingyun will definitely do his best to bring the Xiao family to a higher level. Xiao Qingyun thanked him sternly. Xiao Xian nodded, his face still calm, but there was a hint of joy in his heart. This reincarnated legendary empress was completely impressed by him. Done all this, Xiao Xian did not stay in the royal capital. Instead, he took everyone in the Xiao family back directly. Even though the 9 elders and high-level personnel continued to persuade, they were still rejected by Xiao Xian. Nanming belongs to the Xiao family. The Xiao family does not belong to Nanming. This matter must be clearly distinguished so that it will be easier for him to act in the future. Furthermore, it was also to reduce the appearance of dandy boys and take root in the royal capital. Many people's laziness will be caused by this, even relying on the fact that the dynasty belongs to the Xiao family. If cultivation is abandoned, if a family wants to develop for a long time, its foundation will still be among the descendants. What's more, there is no room for 2 tigers in one mountain. He and Xiao Qingyun are both strong people. When dealing with things in the future, who should the people under my command listen to? The purpose of rejecting the proposal of the senior members of the Xiao family was to allow Xiao Qingyun to display his talents without being restricted. Xiao Qingyun breathed a sigh of relief as she watched Xiao Xian lead everyone in the Xiao family to leave. Xiao Xian just returned to the Xiao family. I heard the system beep sound. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the main mission, founding the Southern Ming dynasty, and obtaining the reward Lorelm Great Perfection. A golden elixir of the Great Dao, a recipe for a spiritual storage elixir, a recipe for a soaring dragon elixir, and a general guide for forging low-level divine weapons. The family built the 1000 Buddha Hall, 10,000 acres of high-grade spiritual land, 3 low-grade spiritual veins, and the Earth Flame Mine. 3 half-step Dao Realm experts, 10,000 exchange points, 1 family legend genius. Dao Jindan prescription, helps half-step Dao Realm or Dao Realm strong people to break through. Spirit accumulating pill recipe, warming and nourishing the soul, it is the best pill for those who are strong in the realm of transformation into gods. 10 long pill recipe, the perfect pill to assist the cultivation of powerful people in the low realm. Overview of the forging of heaven-level low-grade divine weapons. You can forge low-grade heaven-grade divine weapons with 0 loss and can be promoted to mid-grade heaven-grade weapons. Family building 1000 Buddha Hall. Anyone in the family who has escaped from the realm of cultivation can practice. The level-breaking training is set up based on the Kungjing Pavilion's exercises and martial arts. Each time you pass a level, you will receive corresponding rewards. There is a ranking list for each level. If you successfully pass the level, you will be ranked first in the total ranking and you will get automatic rewards from the system. The system for 3 half-step Dao realm experts has been distributed reasonably. Xiao Xian looked at these treasures in shock. With these rewards, the family's strength and combat effectiveness have soared again. But the most important thing now is to break through the great Dao realm first. Now Nanming has changed its dynasty. Although the Xiao family used its strong strength to suppress other forces, preventing them from making trouble. But it is only superficial, they may counterattack at any time. The most effective way is for him to break through the great Dao realm. At that time, even if those forces have huge ambitions, they will not dare to make mistakes. Therefore, Xiao Xian came out of seclusion and briefly explained the family affairs to the 9 elders, then went into seclusion and began to break through. At the same time, the news about Xiao Xian's execution of Zen Master Tianlu of Dalai Holy Temple has been spread throughout Tianzhou. This news shocked countless people. Xiao Xian was indeed the legendary head of the family. Relying on the 6th level of Luo realm, he can actually kill Dao realm cultivators. But the other party also offended the powerful Great Thunder Holy Temple. Although the Xiao family founded a country and established a dynasty, its foundation was unstable and it provoked powerful enemies. It was only a matter of time before it was destroyed. Therefore, all forces are coveting this piece of cake. At this time, the Tiandu dynasty started building Buddhist temples. In a short period of time, hundreds of Buddhist temples, large and small, appeared. Regardless of whether they are rich or powerful, or from poor families, they all join the procession of worshipping the Buddha. Some people even went bankrupt and sold their children, so they went to Buddhist temples to donate money for incense. Everything is just for the purpose of reaching the pure land of ultimate bliss as soon as possible after death, and one day becoming a Buddha and becoming a saint. As early as the rise of Buddhism, the Tiandu dynasty was in a critical period of alternation between old and new kings. At that time, 3 brothers, Zen Master Tianlu and Master Zhuexuan, were ordered by Dalai Holy Temple to come to Tianzhou to open a road. The turbulent Tiandu dynasty became the starting point of Zen Master Tianlu. The side with his support automatically becomes the winner. The 3 brothers Zhuexuan were trapped by Xiao Xian in Nanming. After completing his mission, Zen Master Tianlu turned around and went to rescue the 3 of them. In order to prevent everything he did in the Tiandu dynasty from being destroyed by others. Therefore, he used the pure heart mantra and Buddha's sound to forcibly convert a strong man who was half a step into the great Dao realm. This is also a method commonly used by Zen Master Tianlu. Not only that, he also informed a young novice monk about the means to control the 3 people and asked him to supervise them. This little novice monk has been raised in the Great Thunder Temple since he was a child. His strength and talent are not very good, but he is extremely sincere. After the little novice monk discovered that he had the ability to control a half-step Taoist realm expert, the 3 of them were beaten, scolded, humiliated, and treated like cattle. At this time, the 3 half-step masters of the great Dao realm were sitting around a temple. They are Dugu swordsman Li Qi, Hunyuan thunderbolt Fisuke, and Shura sword Yang Kai. At this time, the 3 of them were on the top floor of the temple. They looked at each other and saw the humiliation in each other's eyes. Full of anger but nowhere to vent it. We are already half a powerful man in the great Dao realm, yet we are suppressed by a little novice monk. What a humiliation this is. Suke punched the golden pillar in the temple. You and I want to kill him, but before we even get close to him, we will be counterattacked by Tianlu's demon monk's magic. Yang Kai sighed helplessly. Are we really going to be controlled by this little novice monk? I, Suke, can't stand this shame and humiliation. Suke roared angrily and punched the golden button next to him. Yang Kai could only comfort him, so what if I can't bear it anymore? We are controlled by this magic, even if we have some cultivation. There is nothing we can do about that novice monk, unless someone is willing to help and save us from the sea of suffering. Suke smiled bitterly. If someone is really willing to help, I, Suke, am willing to go through fire and water for him. In fact, there is another way, and that is for them to break through on their own. But how could that demon monk Tianlu let the three of them go? At this time, Li Qi suddenly spoke. Have you noticed that the connection with Zen Master Tianlu is broken? Suke and Yang Kai quickly checked and found that the thread that had been restrained by Zen Master Tianlu was missing. This proves that they are no longer under the control of Zen Master Tianlu. There is only one possibility to cut off contact: Zen Master Tianlu is dead. The three of them were pleasantly surprised. The movement inside the temple attracted the young novice monk. What do you call it? You are living too peacefully. Now that you are too peaceful, go out and subdue those traitors who don't want to practice Buddhism. Suke made fists with both hands, twisted his neck, and punched the little novice monk in the face. You have rebelled. You are not afraid that I will sue you in front of Zen Master Tianlu? Then you will not be able to eat and walk around. The little novice monk quickly recited the mantra given by Zen Master Tianlu, but found that it didn't work at all. Only then did he realize that Suke had beaten him without restraint. That proves that Zen Master Tianlu. Then he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Hero, spare your life. I offended a few people because of my ignorance. Now I know my mistake, please spare my life. I am willing to work hard for you. Yang Kai and Li Qi walked up slowly. How could we kill you? We still have to thank you for taking care of us. Killing him is impossible. Otherwise, they would not be able to vent the humiliation they suffered during this period. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 52. The little novice was suddenly filled with despair and extremely frightened. Without the blessing of Zen Master Tianlu and the mantra, even if he was killed 300 times, it would not be enough for them to vent. Li Qi, Yang Kai, and Suke realized that they were no longer under the control of Zen Master Tianlu. He completely let himself go and wreaked havoc on the Buddhist temples of the Tiandu dynasty. It took a lot of time to build the Buddhist temple. The three of them destroyed hundreds of Buddhist temples, large and small, in just one day. Even those Buddhist cultivators who promoted Buddhism were eliminated. The three of them even suppressed the Tiandu dynasty for several days. If they found missionaries who were obsessed with practicing Buddhism or even close to Buddhism, they will kill him without hesitation. Li Qi and others' frenzied eradication of Buddhism shocked the Tiandu dynasty. Until there was news from Nanming that Xiao Xian had killed Zen Master Tianlu. News came from him and his three senior brothers. Only then did everyone understand why the three of them were so crazy. At this time, it was on a high-rise building somewhere in the Tiandu dynasty. Yang Kai, Li Qi, and Suke stood facing each other. I didn't expect that the head of the Xiao family would be so mysterious and powerful, that he could even kill Zen Master Tianlu in the Great Dao realm. If he hadn't fought with Zen Master Tianlu, we wouldn't have been able to escape from the clutches of the devil. We can't forget this kindness. Despite this, he has also offended the Great Thunder Holy Temple. I'm afraid it will be difficult in the future. Suke said goodbye to the two of them with clasped fists. Now is the time for the Xiao family to employ people. I made a vow before that if anyone can rescue me from the sea of suffering, I will go through fire and water for him. Su said goodbye to his two brothers today. See you again in the future. Yang Kai and Li Qi smiled at each other and stopped him. Thanks to you and me, the three of us have been together for decades, and yet you only care about repaying your kindness. In your eyes, the strength of my two brothers is so poor. Suke was stunned. What are you? Of course I will go with you. If the head of the Xiao family had not eradicated Zen Master Tianlu, I would not have been able to regain my freedom. Now the Xiao family is facing the enemy de la Holy Temple. As our old enemy and the powerful enemy of our benefactor, how can we miss the opportunity to repay our kindness and revenge? Suke patted the two of them on the shoulders. I'm sorry for the lack of thought. In this case, you and I will go together to support the Xiao family. The three of them briefly discussed and headed in the direction of Nanming Xiao's house. At the same time, the sound of thunder and lightning came from the mountain behind the Xiao family. The sky was dark, thunder was rolling, and strong winds were raging. Purple lightning struck down from the sky, a total of 72 of them. Each stroke was accurately struck in the cave. Finally, after the last purple lightning struck down, a monstrous power burst out from the cave. And that purple lightning thunder calamity was completely absorbed by it. A natural aura of the Great Avenue circulated in Xiao Xian's body. The purple lightning bolt that was absorbed by him actually struck from his body towards the sky. The ultimate power is terrifying. At this time, Xiao Xian slowly opened his eyes, and a terrifying light flashed from his eyes. The Great Dao realm is accomplished. Ding! Congratulations to the host for breaking through the Great Dao realm and gaining magical power, Poji, Sword Domain, Breakthrough Strength, Aurora, and Invincibility. Aurora, among the same level, regardless of the number of opponents, regardless of the magic weapon level, suppress the opponent's strength by 30%. Invincible, triple combat effectiveness, perfect level crushing among people of the same level. After breaking through the Great Dao realm, he realized two new magical powers. Now my strength can be said to be invincible among those at the same level. Xiao Xian is very confident in his own strength. The dragon blood battle body of creation is now gradually unsealed due to the continuous improvement of its cultivation level. It will become more powerful the further you go. Before it was just a level up challenge. After breaking through the Great Dao realm, he can kill the opponent even if he is at the Great Perfect Dao realm. Ding! The family already has the Dao realm, the Law realm, and the Divine Transformation realm. The system will automatically upgrade the third grade family. Do you want to receive the reward? Receive. With the previous rewards, Xiao Xian is now very excited about the rewards issued by the system. Regarding the Law realm that appeared in the family, Xiao Xian's first thought was Xiao Qingyun. After all, Xiao Qingyun already had a tendency to break through at the last founding ceremony. Ding! The host's cultivation level has been upgraded to the third level of the Great Dao realm. The Sutra Collection Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, 10,000 Swords Cave, and the Mountain Guarding Sword Formation Family Station will automatically upgrade to the third level. Obtain the general outline of the Forging of Heaven level low-grade artifacts, the general outline of the middle-grade elixir, a heavenly monument of enlightenment, and 2 magical golden elixirs. The Waning Moon Sword was upgraded to a low-grade heavenly artifact, and a legendary genius was born in the family. Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, Level 3. Increase the weight of martial arts and enhance the effects of martial arts. The tribe's hidden talent increases by 1%, and the chance of comprehending the artistic conception increases by 1,000th. Automatically refresh heaven level low-grade exercises every day. Enlightenment Room, 3rd grade 4 floors, 1 layer of aura increases by 10%. The 2nd level of spiritual energy is increased by 20%, and the 3rd level of spiritual energy is increased by 35%. The 4th layer of spiritual energy increases by 50%, and the tribesman can obtain martial arts and natural skills after enlightenment. Family Head Jade Pendant, 3rd grade. The latest qualification for the birth of a family newborn is mid-grade. The birth of a newborn's top grade qualifications increases by 5,000ths, increasing the family's aura growth rate. It can be integrated with spiritual veins and family residences to help the host improve 6 small realms. Family Station, 3rd grade. Automatically upgrade the lower grade spiritual veins to the middle grade, and increase the spiritual energy by 20%. 10,000 Swords Cave, Third grade contains 10,000 swords in the world, the landing of divine weapons is increased by 1,000th. Mountain protecting sword formation, third grade anyone who touches below the cave void realm will die. Monument of Enlightenment, increases the chance of enlightenment for clan members, and increases the chance of understanding artistic conception according to the opponent's talent. Can be superimposed with the enlightenment room to add attributes, only for family members. Xiao Xian felt a powerful Taoist energy coming from the top of his head. Immediately afterwards, his realm was directly upgraded from the first level of the Great Dao realm to the third level. Feeling the improvement in realm, Xiao Xian smiled with satisfaction. Then he handed over the pill recipe and the general outline of weapon forging to the two elders, Xiao Qingyun and Xiao Suo, and put the enlightenment monument just rewarded by the system directly into the enlightenment room. The moment the enlightenment sky monument entered the enlightenment room, it took root and grew rapidly. It is 4 stories high. After doing all this, Xiao Xian returned to the system and checked his own information. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of the Xiao family. Cultivation realm, third level of Dao realm. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique, can reach the top of the immortal way after completing the practice. Cruel Walong, can cut through the void with the sword after completing the practice. 8-stage slash, can reach the second level after practicing. Weapon, heaven level low grade waning moon sword. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, Wanjian Cave, Thousand Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Sky Monument. Supernatural powers, Bei's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, Strength Breaking 10,000 June, Aurora, Invincible. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. It has been less than 3 years since he took over this body. Both his own strength and the power of the Xiao family have undergone earth-shaking changes. Although he was a strong man in the past, he also needed to be wary of all forces. Now, even if he faces a strong man in the Great Perfection realm, he still has the ability to fight against him. Come out of the room. Xiao Xian felt the aura of 3 half-step Dao realm experts, and was only 1 step away from the Dao realm. Xiao Xian was stunned for a moment, then thought of the system's rewards, and it suddenly became clear to him. At this time, someone in charge was coming, preparing to report to Xiao Xian the recent events within the clan. Xiao Xian waved his hand and motioned for him to retreat first. Then he jumped into the air and headed towards the direction of the 3 half-step Dao realm experts. Li Qi and others were walking halfway when they suddenly found a powerful man in the great Dao realm appearing in front of them. I was suddenly shocked. But the person he saw was holding a long sword and dressed in white, and he happened to be in the direction of the Xiao family. Then he guessed Xiao Xian's identity. Is the person here Xiao Xian, the head of the Xiao family? Li Qi spoke first and bowed respectfully to Xiao Xian. Although Xiao Xian already knew the identities of the 3 people, he did not reveal any of them. Why are the 3 brothers here? Li Qi and others looked at each other with joy on their faces. He told Xiao Xian his purpose of coming here and what happened before. Then the 3 of them said in unison, the 3 of us are here this time because we want to join the Xiao family master and serve you. Yes, although our cultivation level is not very strong, we can still help the Xiao family master at critical moments. From the last battle, Xiao Xian knew that the Buddhist pure heart mantra and the Buddha sound had the ability to control people's hearts. I never thought there could be a more terrifying spell than this. Buddhism is really harmful. Xiao Xian used his chaotic pupils to check the identity information of the 3 people so that he could know them better. Li Qi, half-step Dao realm cultivation, Zhigu swordsman, was forcibly converted by Zen master Tianlu. Trapped beside him for decades, he resisted many times but suffered backlash. Now he is indirectly rescued by the host. With a grateful heart, even if the host does not accept it, he will follow it secretly. Suke, Hunyuan Thunderbolt boxing is half a step into the Great Dao realm, and was forcibly taught by Zen Master Tianlu for decades. He once swore an oath that if anyone could rescue him from the sea of suffering, he would do so to the death. Yang Kai, Shura's swordsman, possesses the heart of a sword, and his sword skills are second to none. He surrendered after being indirectly rescued by the host. After getting the detailed information of the three people, Xiao Xian withdrew his chaotic pupils. But he didn't expect that these three people were not only half-step Dao realm experts. He also has a spiritual body and is still a person who pays great attention to friendship. This is undoubtedly an extra strong arm for him. I didn't expect that Zen Master Tianlu was not only sanctimonious, but his methods were so despicable. Since the three dear brothers have sincerely surrendered, I, Xiao Xian Ding, will protect you all. As long as I am here, no one will take action against you again, and the Xiao family will be the home of the three of you from now on. Xiao Xian's words made the three of them feel that they were not with the wrong person. The originally anxious heart calmed down at this moment. However, verbal promises are not Xiao Xian's style. I saw him taking out 3 white jade bottles and throwing them directly to the three of them. This is the magical elixir, consider it a meeting gift from me. The three of them were surprised. Magical elixir. That is a perfect level of elixir. Not only can it help half-step masters in the Great Dao realm break through to the Great Dao realm, but it also has no erysipelas or side effects. Even those who are powerful in the Great Dao realm will do anything to seize this elixir. Xiao Xian was so generous as to give it to the three of them. This gift is too valuable, we can't accept it? Yes, no reward for no merit. The three of them have been stuck in the half-step Dao realm for many years, and now they have this magical elixir. Breaking through the Great Dao realm is within reach. But no matter how eager the three of them were to break through, they couldn't accept this thing. So I could only reluctantly refuse. Even so, their eyes never left her for a moment. But his eyes were clear, without any greed, and even extremely determined. Upon seeing this, Xiao Xian became even more satisfied with the three people's character. These 3 magical golden elixirs are normal to my Xiao family. If you don't throw them away, it will be fine. Likewise, our Xiao family will not refuse to take you in. Seeing the hesitation of the 3 people, Xiao Xian made a move to throw away the 3 white jade bottles. I, Xiao Xian, can never take back what I, Xiao Xian, have given me. Li Qi quickly stopped him. It's not that the three of me won't accept it, but it's too expensive. The 3 of my brothers. The 3 of you took magical golden elixirs to break through to the Great Dao realm. As far as my Xiao family is concerned, it is just that there are 3 more powerful people in the Great Dao realm sitting in charge. In the end, they will still serve the Xiao family. Then the 3 of us would rather be respectful than obey. Li Qi and the 3 of them looked at each other. It can be considered that I have a general understanding of Xiao Xian, so I am more determined to serve Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian Gang led the 3 people back to Xiao's house and was arranging for the manager to arrange a place for the 3 people to stay. Xiao Jianfeng suddenly hurried over. He glanced at Li Qi and the other 3, then stepped forward to report to Xiao Xian. Master, I just received a secret message that the coalition forces of the 3 major dynasties around Nanming have launched an attack on our country. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 53. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows, turned around and sat down on the main seat. Xiao Jianfeng handed the secret letter in his hand to Xiao Xian, and then told him the outline of the matter. The king sent people to go as soon as he received the news, but they were defeated by the opponent. He had the tendency to push forward. The monarch led his troops to the battlefield and discovered that among the three great dynasties there were auras of powerful men in the great Dao realm. Therefore, the secret method sent a message back to the Xiao family, asking the family owner to send people to support him. There was a flash of light in Xiao Xian's eyes. Since the founding of the southern Ming dynasty, the Xiao family has crushed surrounding forces with absolute strength. I have never heard of any dynasty that has a strong person in the Dao realm. Not when he was fighting Zen Master Tianlu, it was the best time for those dynasties to take action. But as the reincarnated empress, Xiao Qingyun was even less likely to betray herself. The only thing that can explain it is one possibility. The alliance of the three dynasties to attack Nanming was just a pretense. The ultimate goal is him. The battle with Zen Master Tianlu had already attracted too many forces to pay attention to him. The three major dynasties were suppressed and did not dare to resist, so they launched a coalition army in a short period of time. It proves that they have found a strong backer. And that backer is exactly what he wants to deal with. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian nodded. Then I, the head of the family, should go there in person and meet for a while to find out who the other party is. Li Qi and others strode forward, knelt down on one knee and asked for help. Master, my three brothers came here to help the Xiao family. Now that the Xiao family is in danger, my three brothers are willing to go to the battlefield. Yang Kai and Su Ke quickly agreed. Xiao Xian didn't say much when he saw this. That's very good. The three of you will go to the battlefield to support first. The master of this family will go there immediately after upgrading the family formation. In fact, Xiao Xian can go to the battlefield now. But a powerful Dao realm person appeared on the other side, and this alliance battle was nothing more than a conspiracy. If he really went there right away, he might be falling into a trap. Therefore, before leaving, he must upgrade the mountain guard sword formation, and even other family protections must be consolidated and strengthened. In this way, even if the other party is attacked by a powerful person in the great Dao realm, there is no need to worry about the family members being in trouble. Li Qi, Su Ke, and Yang Kai were immediately overjoyed. This was a great opportunity for the Xiao family to see their strength. At the same time, they also want Xiao Suangao to take a look at them. At the same time, on the battlefields around the southern dynasties. In this war, Xiao Qingyun first sent 3 million troops to go there, and then led 1 million troops to fight in person. In addition to the millions of local troops stationed in the country, Nanming sent 5 million troops to the expedition this time. The three dynasties coalition this time directly dispatched 25 million elite troops. Among them, nearly 1,000 powerful people in the transformation of God realm went out to fight, and there were even more than 1 million in the escape realm. However, even with this lineup, Nanming's army can still take advantage. Coupled with Xiao Qingyun's effective combat strategy, the Nanming army was even more motivated to fight and was likely to become more courageous in the Vietnam War. Xiao Qingyun relied on the blessings of the two treasures of the Imperial Seal and the Supreme Divine Court. Even if you fight against several powerful men who are in the Dzogchen realm of law at the same time, you can easily win. This further stimulated the army's fighting spirit, and in subsequent battles, fewer troops defeated more troops more often. However, the battle situation in the past 2 days has been somewhat unfavorable. Xiao Qingyun frowned even more. The other party has noticed her strength and sent 2 strong men at the half-step Dao realm to restrain her. Although she could barely fight against him, the Dao realm in the opposite military camp was not something she could defeat. Unlike Zen Master Tianlu, who has just entered the Great Dao realm, the aura of the other party is in the middle or late stage of the Great Dao realm. And there's more than one. Although she is the reincarnated empress, and has the imperial seal and the blessing of the Supreme Divine Court, her realm is only the first level of the low realm. She can easily fight against cultivators of the same level, and even has the ability to fight with half-step Dao realm. But it can't cause any harm to the powerful ones in the Great Dao realm. The opponent can even get rid of her with just one move. At this time, there was a rush of footsteps outside. Report to the monarch that the enemy has launched another attack on our army. Please give instructions from the monarch. Xiao Qingyuan stood up suddenly, put on his battle helmet and walked out. You will prepare quickly and join us to fight together. Yes. On the battlefield. The soldiers and horses of the two armies have begun a fierce battle. Xiao Qingyuan was wearing a red battle robe, holding a long sword, and sitting astride a war horse. The alluring appearance, devilish figure, coupled with the unique dragon power, make people unable to take their eyes away. At this time, her eyes were heavy, and there was a hint of worry between her brows. This time, the opponent actually sent 5 half-step masters to fight against her. She could barely fight against the 2 before, and the 5 of them went into battle at the same time. Unless she activates the secret technique, there is no possibility of victory. But that secret technique comes at a huge price. What's more, Xiao Qingyuan set his sights on the local camp. She planned to use that secret technique to deal with that great Dao realm person. Now it has to be used. Oh! This king of Nanming is also a stunning beauty. Look at this figure, it makes people full of desire to conquer. One of them, half-step Dao realm, directly teased him, his greedy desire unabashedly flowing out of his eyes. Haha, I don't know if the Nanming monarch likes to go forward or push the door backwards. I think she will be extremely happy no matter which way. Mr. Nanming, as long as you are willing to lie under us to please us, we are not unable to consider keeping your whole body. The filthy words made everyone around him laugh. Many people even laughed and said more unpleasant words to Xiao Qingyuan. Xiao Qingyuan's eyes were filled with anger, an overwhelming murderous intent surged out of them. Even if she paid that price at this moment, she would cut these people into pieces. At this time, suddenly 3 half-step Dao realm auras came from behind. I saw a sword technique, a fist wind, and a burst of sword light in the air, heading towards her. Xiao Qingyuan was shocked. Knowing that there is no way to escape today, he is about to activate the secret method. But he found that the 3 extremely murderous attacks were heading behind him, forcefully forcing back the opponent's 3 half-step Dao realm experts. Xiao Qingyuan looked at the 3 people with unknown origins without knowing why. Li Qi and others clasped their fists and stepped forward to express their intention. Greetings to the king, we are sent by the Xiao family to support you. And took out the elder certificate given by Xiao Xian. When Xiao Qingyuan heard this, he immediately became furious. The long sword in his hand was pointed directly at the enemy, and murderous intent surged out. You 3 only need to help me hold down 2 of them, and the lonely king will deal with the rest himself. If she couldn't cut these people into pieces with 1,000 knives, it would be difficult to understand the hatred in her heart. Li Qi, Suke, and Yang Kai looked at each other. They came here to prove their strength. How could they let you do it alone? Immediately activated the half-step Dao realm coercion and locked onto 3 of them. The monarch only needs to hold those 2 people for half a stick of incense, and we can solve them. Xiao Qingyuan was stunned. Then launched an attack on it. With the addition of Li Qi, Suke, and Yang Kai, Xiao Qingyuan felt much more relaxed and went on a killing spree. Everyone in the army was also affected by her, and their fighting spirit rose again, directly suppressing the opponent's army. And at this time, the general in the enemy camp retreated to the rear with an anxious expression. He knelt down in front of a tent and said, 3 more powerful men of the half-step Dao realm emerged from the Nanming army to contain the Fang army. Please help me, adults. Otherwise our army will be defeated. But there was no answer inside. The general still wanted to speak, but was afraid of his methods. At this time, a man wearing a black robe whose appearance was unclear and exuding a deathly aura came out. Since I'm here, there's no need to worry. I saw him rising into the air and reaching the top of the battlefield in a blink of an eye. Looking at Xiao Qingyun, who was fighting with two half-step Dao realm figures, a trace of helplessness flashed in his eyes. I originally wanted to use you to lure Xiao Xian away, but now it seems that Xiao Xian no longer dares to show up, so there is no use keeping you. He snorted coldly. Heaven and earth trembled. His eyes were locked on Xiao Qingyun and the four of them, releasing the power of the powerful men in the great Dao realm to suppress them. The strong pressure made Li Qi and others on guard, and they couldn't help but look up at the sky in horror. Great Dao realm, demon race. The three of them were shocked. There are people from the demon clan appearing among the three major dynasties. Even Xiao Qingyun looked worried. He is actually a demon cultivator at the 9th level of the great Dao realm. At this moment, countless people changed their minds. The three major dynasties actually formed an alliance with the demons. He's still a demon in the great Dao realm. Aren't the three great dynasties afraid of being stung forever? The three great dynasties are really good at it. In order to defeat Nanming, they even made deals with the demons. For a time, countless people were angry. The demonic cultivator turned a deaf ear to these and directly attacked Xiao Qingyun. I saw a white skull claw with black energy heading towards Xiao Qingyun. Everyone in the Nanming army was worried when they saw this scene. King, be careful. King, please get out of here. Some people even tried to break through the pressure of the Dao realm's momentum and jump directly into the air, trying to block the blow for Xiao Qingyun. During this period of time, Xiao Qingyun used his practical actions to win the hearts of countless people. Coupled with his courage and ability to do things, he impressed countless people. Now that she is in trouble, these people are naturally willing to sacrifice their lives for her. The four of them, Li Qi, were locked in by the black-robed man's aura and were unable to make any defense at all. Xiao Qingyun's brows were burning with anger, and something in his chest seemed to be breaking out of its restraints. At this moment, Xiao Qingyun suddenly relaxed and the corners of his mouth raised slightly. A change from the gloomy look of the past. Behind her, there was a unique aura. That is Xiao Xian's unique meaning of swordsmanship. The sound of a long sword being unsheathed came from the air. Many people looked sideways. I saw a golden sword light in the air, piercing the sky, coming towards here with a fierce sword force. The demon cultivator's heart moved slightly and he hurriedly retracted the skull claw, but it was too late. Those who hurt my Xiao family have asked me if they have ever asked me. As a familiar voice sounded, another figure dressed in white descended from the sky. That was Xiao Xian, the head of the Xiao family who existed like a god in their hearts. Seeing Xiao Xian coming across the sky, everyone was overjoyed. The master of the house is here. Great. The king can be saved. I knew the master would not give up on us. Even when facing a demonic cultivator at the 7th level of the great Dao realm, the head of the family can deal with it calmly. Countless people cheered for Xiao Xian, hope was rekindled in their eyes, and fighting spirit was rekindled in their hearts. Mo Xiu looked at the tiny crack on his hand and sighed slightly. This was because he had closed his hand a little faster. If it had been a little slower, it would have been more than just a crack. Even he was a little afraid of this sword power. Xiao Xian looked at Xiao Qingyun and others and motioned for them to go down first. Xiao Qingyun and others did not hesitate and retreated directly from the battlefield. Rather than staying up there and letting Xiao Xian have worries, it is better to retreat to the back and let him have nothing to worry about. Xiao Xian looked at the man in black robe opposite and spoke indifferently. Isn't it just that Lord Juyu of the Blood Knife sect is going to such great lengths to lure my family leader out? In that case, you must be the only one coming. Instead of hiding behind, the other monarchs might as well show up together. Lord Juyu chuckled, and the hoarse voice did not seem to come from his throat. Master Xiao is so courageous. You know clearly that I want to lure you out, but you still dare to throw yourself into the trap. At this time, three powerful forces of pressure suddenly erupted from the enemy camp. Immediately afterwards, The other three monarchs also appeared next to Lord Zhuyu. Xiao Xian sneered coldly, since it is specially prepared for the head of my family, why should I not come? As he spoke, Xiao Xian used his chaotic pupils to check the detailed information of the three people. Zhuyu monarch, 9th level cultivation in the Great Dao realm, one of the four great monarchs of the Blood Knife sect. The sudden rise of the Xiao family and the death of General Yan made him suspect that the treasure was in the host, but he did not know that the treasure was a relic of the Kailan sect. White Dragon monarch, 7th level cultivation of the Great Dao realm. Monster Phoenix monarch, 8th level cultivation of the Great Dao realm. Monarch Tiankui, 9th level cultivation of the Great Dao realm. Seeing that the four great monarchs had appeared, Xiao Xian sneered coldly. The Blood Knife sect has really gone to great lengths to get my master to show up. We even didn't hesitate to dispatch a 7th level Dao realm, an 8th level Dao realm, and 2 demon cultivators from the 9th level of the Dao realm. My master is so powerful in your eyes. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. It turns out to be a demon cultivator in the late stage of the Great Dao realm. Can the head of the family be able to deal with it this time? No wonder the three major dynasties dared to join forces to attack. It turns out they found such a strong backer. Is it possible for the master of the family to fight against the four late-stage demon cultivators in the Great Dao realm by himself? For a time, countless people began to worry about Xiao Xian. They even felt that Xiao Xian could not escape this disaster. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 54. Lord Tiankui snorted coldly, full of disdain. You were like an ant in the eyes of this monarch more than 30 years ago, and you will be the same 30 years later. It's just that I didn't expect that you would hide the Kailan sect's treasure from you in order to prevent us from knowing it. You have swallowed your anger for so many years just to rise up. Xiao Xian, I have to admire your character. In the eyes of Lord Tiankui and the other three monarchs, Xiao Xian has not revealed that he has a rare treasure for so many years. The purpose was to make them give up the idea of continuing to search the Xiao family. Even the informants placed around him by Yan Puppet didn't find any problems. Now that he was powerful enough to intimidate a territory, he attracted their attention. I have to say that Xiao Xian was really desperate to survive. Xiao Xian was too lazy to explain. 30 years ago, you destroyed my entire Xiao family and killed my father. Now the Nanming dynasty has been destroyed. Let's settle the blood feud between my Xiao family and your Blood Knife sect starting from your four great monarchs. When the four monarchs heard this, they immediately raised their heads and left. The demon Phoenix monarch even made some sarcastic remarks. Only you, a mere third-level practitioner of the Great Dao realm, wants to take revenge on us? Don't even urinate and look in the mirror. Xiao Xian smiled coldly, whether I can kill you or not, you will find out after a battle with the master of this family. You are talking arrogantly. Then let me teach you how powerful this monarch is. The White Dragon Lord rose into the air and launched an attack on Xiao Xian. A cluster of ghostly fire rose from the palm of his hand and pointed directly at Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian swung his sword away, and the ghost fire shattered. Then he jumped into the sky and couldn't help but marvel at the strange fire faintly emanating from the White Dragon Lord. I didn't expect you to possess strange fire. The White Dragon Lord smiled proudly. If not, how could I, together with them, be called the Four Great Lords? Xiao Xian's heart moved. This strange fire was just right for Xiao Yan. In this case, this Yu Huo family is the main one. Xiao Xian's body moved and the waning moon sword was unsheathed. He was the first to take action against the four monarchs, and with a flash of his body, he was already in the sky above the four monarchs. Boom! A sword light flashed, the wind and clouds changed color, and thunder rioted in the sky. Black clouds pressed down on the city, and purple lightning and thunder fell from the sky, condensing on the waning moon sword. A sword swing down. The ultimate sword light actually divided the world into two, purple thunder and lightning and golden sword light entwined with each other. Like a giant dragon, it rushed towards the four monarchs. The four monarchs were horrified. They did not expect Xiaoxian to be so powerful. With just one strike of the sword, the color of heaven and earth changed. But they didn't have any fear. I also have an understanding of Xiaoxian's strength in my heart. The strength is good, but one move can't hurt us at all. Let me show you what is the strength of the great Dao realm. Lord Tiankui snorted coldly. Then the four monarchs launched an attack together. Streams of black demonic energy soared into the sky, causing turmoil in the entire battlefield. The demonic energy soared into the sky, covering the sky and the sun, and it was like night in an instant. For a moment, the surrounding birds and beasts fled one after another, and those that were slower were turned into carrion. Xiaoxian held the waning moon sword and rushed into the sky. His aura and sword energy merged into one. A pure sword intent rushed out of his body, as if it was going to upset the sky. The majestic sword force washed away the demonic energy of the four monarchs. The space was suddenly divided into two levels, black and white. Another collision. Suddenly the sky and the earth were darkened, the sun and the moon had no light, and it had the potential to destroy the heaven and the earth. The fighting between the two sides made the world feel sad. At this moment, the four great monarchs have overwhelming murderous intentions. What a great Xiaoxian! After years of forbearance, you have grown to this point. If you don't die today, you will be a great disaster to us. Lord Tiankui was very angry. They were fully prepared to subdue Xiaoxian. Even four of them team up. As a result, not only could Xiaoxian not be hurt at all, but he was even suppressed by him. Xiaoxian looked at the few people calmly, with murderous intent gushing out in his eyes. This scene reminded him of his father. Back then, he was also dealt with by the four monarchs in this way. In the end, he died tragically under their tricks. Now it happened to me again. Is this your Dao realm strength? If this is all you have, then you will only die. Xiaoxian said indifferently. Since breaking through the great Dao realm, all his memories have been restored. He did travel through time, but he did so as early as when he was born. All the things that the Xiao family has experienced happened to him. How could he not avenge such a bloody feud? Humph. With a mere third-level cultivation of the great Dao realm, do you think you are truly invincible after suppressing us for a moment? No one from our four great monarchs has survived in our hands, including your father. The four monarchs were completely angered by Xiaoxian's arrogant words. So he stopped talking nonsense and took action against Xiaoxian. Seeing this, Xiaoxian swung his sword again. The sword energy broke through the clouds, and the sword power cut through the sky. In an instant, the sky and the earth dimmed, leaving only Xiaoxian holding the crescent moon sword in his hand. The sword light was impartial and went straight towards the faces of the four monarchs. The four monarchs were shocked and quickly used their defensive skills. Although he dodged the sword. But all four of them were pushed back hundreds of meters by Xiaoxian. The four people were shocked. They did not expect that Xiaoxian, who was only at the third level of the great Dao realm, could actually repel them twice. That's it, he can still retain his strength. Xiaoxian looked at the four of them indifferently. Within 2 moves, you will be dead. Then he looked at Xiao Jiangxin below, his eyes clear. Kenshin, you have to look carefully at these 2 swords. Xiaoxian's voice reached everyone's ears and caused a commotion. What? Kill a demon cultivator in the late Dao realm with 2 swords. Could it be that the head of the Xiao family thinks he is fighting against the escape realm? He can say such arrogant things. Humph, do you still want to win against someone at the 3rd level of the Great Dao realm versus a late stage 4 lords of the Great Dao realm? You are simply overestimating your capabilities. If the Xiao family master can say such words, he must be confident in his own strength. It's just a big talk before death. It was just a fluke that I was able to leapfrog the challenge before. If it were me, I could do the same. For a moment, some people were horrified, some didn't believe it, some were confused, and some were disdainful. There are very few people who believe that Xiao Xian has the absolute strength to kill the four monarchs. In their eyes, although Xiao Xian is powerful, it is absolutely impossible to defeat four powerful men in the late stage of the Great Dao realm at the same time. However, among the few people who believe in Xiao Xian, there are several geniuses such as Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, Xiao Qingyuan, Xiao Jinjian, Xiao Yanyao, and so on. As well as the 9 elders and senior core members of the Xiao family. Especially Xiao Jiangxin, who was given guidance by Xiao Xian and had the most contact with him. His understanding and trust in Xiao Xian is unparalleled by other geniuses. After hearing what Xiao Xian said to him, he knew that he wanted him to understand something from it. Quickly deal with several opponents in the God transformation realm in your hands. Then he stepped aside and watched Xiao Xian's moves carefully. Xiao Xian's arrogance also reached the ears of the four monarchs. Several people became furious upon hearing this. Xiao Xian, look how I will strangle you today. You ants from the human race, you really think you have the ability to kill me by repelling this monarch with just 2 moves? You are simply overestimating your abilities. Let you see how powerful this monarch is. Xiao Xian, if I don't cut you into pieces today, I will write the word Zhu upside down. The 4 people shouted loudly and launched a fierce attack on Xiao Xian. 4 terrifying auras rose into the sky. The white dragon lord soared into the air, and with the blessing of the magical white bone claws, he headed towards Xiao Xian menacingly. Netherworld Bone Claw. The demon phoenix monarch slashed towards the sky 3 times and transformed into a rotting corpse. With the blessing of the crazy slashing with magical powers, his artistic conception of the rotting corpse became more solid. Carrion killing. Lord Tiankui roared angrily, and the aura at the peak of the Great Dao realm exploded instantly, with the blessing of the fallen magical power. A terrifying demonic power rushed into the sky, and the sunlight above the sky was gradually swallowed up. With the blessing of the magical sun-devouring power, Lord Tiankui's combat effectiveness soared rapidly. Tiankui bites the sun. Lord Zhuyu chuckled, and the bones on his body made a crisp sound, like a demonic sound. The black mist emanating from his body made his figure become illusory, with the help of Tiankui devouring sun. With the blessing of magical powers and shadows, Lord Zhuyu disappeared in front of everyone in an instant. Demon Shadow Slash. Immediately afterwards, Lord Tiankui and Lord Yao Feng took action at the same time. With the blessing of the magical power of Crazy Slash and devouring the sun, the 2 merged into one. And the phantom of Lord Zhuyu directly enveloped the 2 of them, and the 3 of them merged into one. Countless people were shocked. Under the combined blow of the 3 great monarchs in the late stage of the Great Dao realm, there would be no chance of survival. Many people began to worry about Xiao Xian's life and death. What's more, looking at the white clothes in the sky, he sneered. In their eyes, Xiao Xian must die. And at this time, Xiao Xian took action under everyone's gaze. Not only was he not intimidated by the monstrous murderous intent of these people, he even ignored their combined killing moves. The waning moon sword trembled violently in his hand, as if he smelled the breath of battle. Wait, die. The waning moon sword was unsheathed and soared into the sky, and the light of the sword instantly broke through the demonic shadow that covered the sky. The name of this sword is Waning Moon. It can kill gods and destroy demons. The energy of the sword can create heaven and earth. The power of the sword can recreate chaos. This sword caused the world to change color. The magical power breaks the limit and locks the 4 great monarchs in the magical power. With the blessing of Wanjun's magical power, the sword realm was activated. Immediately afterwards, the magical power Aurora, Invincible, and Xiao Chang's sword power merged. This sword actually penetrated the galaxy, slashed across the void, and the people's colors changed. In the eyes of countless people, the killing moves of the four monarchs were shattered by the sword attack. The sword light soared into the sky and turned into a 100-foot-long purple electric golden dragon. He raised his head to the sky and roared, slashing into the air towards the four monarchs. The expressions of the four monarchs changed drastically. They were unable to take this sword. The four people hurriedly used their own defensive shields. Lord Juyo even turned into a shadow again. However, he had long been locked by Xiao Xian's Poji and Bei's Hang. Even if there was only a ray of soul left, he could not avoid this blow. I saw an unwilling wailing sound coming from the air. The four great monarchs were shot down from the air by Xiao Xian's sword. The form of the Nine Nether Lord is even more looming, and he will perish at any time. The White Dragon Lord's skeleton was directly shattered. If he hadn't been at the 7th level of the Great Dao realm, he might not even be able to maintain the cracks in his bones. The Demon Phoenix Monarch was cut off at the waist, the sword intent tore at the soul, the sword force attacked the rotten body, and the rotten flesh on his body fell down like melting. Lord Tiankui's arms were cut off with the sword, and rich black energy continued to overflow from the cut. And his strong body shriveled up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Everyone was stunned. For a moment I didn't know whether to believe my eyes or not. Xiao Xian actually, really seriously injured the four monarchs. The head of the Xiao family didn't lie. He really has this ability. Is Xiao Xian really only at the 3rd level of the Great Dao realm? This is almost invincible at the same level. Everyone in the Xiao family saw this scene. There was cheering immediately. Even the combat power increased instantly. This is the head of their Xiao family. As long as he is around, they don't have to worry about anyone being able to bully them. Because he will do his best to protect the Xiao family behind him. Great, the head of the family has won. I knew that if the head of the family took action, everything would be solved. Xiao Yan sincerely admired him, just like when he appeared in front of him that day. Xiao Qingyun's face was full of confusion. Isn't he an old monster from the era period? But from the period of the Dark War. Only the head of the family can perform such a sword move. I have only scratched the surface of it. Xiao Jiangxing closed his eyes and quickly digested the sword intention he had just realized, waiting for Xiao Xian's next move. The master of the family is probably even more powerful than Master Lei. Jamal Xiao was shocked by the purple lightning struck by Xiao Xianjian, which was the most advanced technique in the thunder ceremony. Even the Thunder Emperor only understood one or two things. The sword moves are good, and the sword power is even more amazing. Only this young master can match it. Even if Xiao Yanyao has the physique of an emperor, he can't find a reason at this moment, and he can't say anything more coquettish. Xiao Xian ignored these people's words. At this moment, he was walking towards the four great monarchs step by step. With his sword and man united into one, his combat power skyrocketed. The sword power has entered the period of great perfection. The waning moon sword is sacrificed. Only by sacrificing the sword can it be completed. Xiao Xian looked down at the four great monarchs. The cold voice spread to everyone's ears. Looking at the figure standing with his hands behind his back, his white clothes fluttering like an immortal. There was actually a sense of awe in their hearts. Crush the void. In an instant, sword light broke through the sky. The sword energy actually split the void in half. The horror of this sword has exceeded everyone's imagination. The expressions of the four monarchs changed with shock, and they turned around to flee. However, Xiao Xian had already locked several people with Poji. The Divine Power Sword domain was officially launched at this time. Countless sword lights descended from the sky and surrounded the four monarchs. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 55. Under the ultimate sword light, only bursts of screams were heard from inside. No one knows what's going on inside. Wait until the sword light dissipates. I saw that the physical bodies of the four great monarchs had been destroyed. Lord Zhuye was even more stunned. Lord Tiankui and Lord Yaofeng turned directly into a blood mist, and even their bodies were gone. The White Dragon Lord only had a bunch of strange fire left, and that strange fire was still burning his remaining bones. Countless people were shocked by the scene in front of them. Xiao Xian really killed the four monarchs with two swords. At this time, his aura was at full strength, and his whole body was filled with murderous intent. And climb higher. It seemed as if everyone was going to be slaughtered. His courage and strength, as well as the waning moon sword in his hand, have become the fear of countless people. Xiao Xian knew that the current situation was not right. But he couldn't help but want to continue killing everyone. His eyes fell on the armies of the three dynasties. The waning moon sword in his hand was shaking violently. All the spiritual energy around the world converged towards it. As the sword light flickered, Xiao Xian's aura also surged. This battle brought him a long-lost sense of pleasure. Finally, the moment when the waning moon sword was about to unsheath itself, Xiao Xian no longer hesitated and hit the air with his sword. The sword energy stretches across 30,000 miles, and the light of one sword chills 19 continents. Xiao Xian's cold voice attracted everyone's attention. A sword light pierced the sky and headed towards the central army of the three dynasties. Although Xiao Xian said that after fighting against the four great monarchs, his hands became itchy to kill. But his reason was not lost. This sword was aimed at the top brass in the Chinese army. There are direct descendants and core personnel of the three dynasties. Regardless of defeat or not, he will never choose to surrender. Instead of worrying about dealing with these tales, it's better to deal with the troubles directly. The sword energy stretches hundreds of thousands of miles from Xiao Xian's feet. Divide the military camps of the three dynasties into two. Wherever the sword light went, limbs and broken arms flew everywhere. Upon seeing this, the senior officials of the three dynasties evacuated one after another. However, once the waning moon sword is released, how can it leave a way for the enemy to survive? Wherever the sword struck, the ground collapsed, forming a chasm tens of thousands of miles wide. Within the chasm, golden sword energy continued to emit, strangling all the soldiers from the three dynasties here. Under such a sword, even if the four great monarchs are resurrected, there is only one way to die. Then, the sword light gradually dissipated. All high-level officials in the military camps of the three dynasties were annihilated. In the chasm, sword aura gradually rose up. These sword energies ignore the realm of cultivation. Everyone looked at these golden sword auras and knew that they would not disappear for hundreds of years to come, or even longer. And this gap also became a holy place for countless young disciples to learn the art of swordsmanship in the following years. Xiao Xian took back the crescent moon sword and left here directly. He doesn't need to do the aftermath. Xiao Xian once again became famous in one battle. And his unparalleled three swords not only spread throughout Tianzhou. It has become the ultimate goal for countless people who practice swordsmanship. And the rumors about Xiao Xian are too mysterious and exaggerated. Therefore, many people came to verify it. When they came to the place where Nanming fought with the three great dynasties, they saw the gap that stretched for hundreds of thousands of miles. I have to sigh with emotion. Xiao Xian is truly the best swordsman in the world. The place where Xiao Xian annihilated the armies of the three dynasties with one sword attracted many people to investigate. In order to find out the truth about that sword, a strong man with the Dao realm rushed directly into the center point. As a result, his throat was sealed with the sword energy, and even his corpse could not be found. He even wanted to find the strange fire of the White Dragon Lord, one of the four great monarchs. He risked his life to go to the center of the chasm, but as a result, either his Taoist heart was broken or he died here. and the sword energy emitted within the chasm will be in the future. It gave birth to many flowers, trees, and even spiritual animals. Anyone who practices swordsmanship will choose to come here to gain enlightenment, and some people even break through 3 minor realms here. When everything was verified, Xiao Xian had reached the 3rd level of Dao realm. The fact that he killed the 4 monarchs of the Blood Blade sect with 3 swords was recognized by the world. As for his terrifying strength, only those in the Dongxi realm can compete with him. The Blood Knife sect was severely damaged due to the fall of the 4 great monarchs. Let alone causing trouble for the Xiao family at this time, they can't even protect themselves. Not only do you have to avoid the pursuit of your opponent, but you also have to find another hiding place. In a short period of time, the Blood Knife sect, which had been camped in Nanming for hundreds of years, was hidden. But everyone knows it. The next time they appear, it will be the next disaster for the Xiao family. After this battle, no one dared to look down upon the Xiao family. Nanming also completely gained a foothold in this battle. The 3 major dynasties formed an alliance with the Blood Knife sect this time and sent more than 20 million troops. After the 4 great monarchs fell, the core members of the 3 great dynasties were all annihilated by Xiao Xian's sword. Now the 3 great dynasties exist in name only. Xiao Qingyun took advantage of the situation and stepped forward with the help of the 3 great geniuses, Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, and Xiao Jinjian. Push through the 3 dynasties along the way and occupy them directly. As a result, Nanming became the largest dynasty. Regardless of strength or influence, no one dares to offend him. The capital of the southern Ming dynasty. Xiao Qingyun is determined to retain Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, and Xiao Jiamian to continue to stay in the dynasty. You are really determined to leave. Although he already knew the result, Xiao Qingyun still wanted to try. After all, if these 3 people can stay, it will undoubtedly add 3 powerful arms to her. Xiao Jiangxin shook his head. Sister Qingyun, compared to the glory and wealth in the dynasty, I still prefer to practice outside. Jamal Xiao also echoed, I have stayed here for too long this time, and I have lost a lot of practice. If you continue to stay here, I'm afraid you will be blinded by these bustling scenes, and you won't be able to catch up with you. Xiao Yan nodded, we are all your tribe, and our departure is only temporary. If you need us in the future, we will come again. Seeing what the 3 said, Xiao Qingyun knew that it was impossible for him to keep them. Besides, she didn't just stop contacting the Xiao family. Although Xiao Jiangxin and others left. But there are other talented people in the Xiao family, some choose to stay, and some choose to leave. Although the Xiao family is rich in resources, competition is also high. Staying in the dynasty does not mean choosing to fall. Although these geniuses are nothing compared to Xiao Jiangxin and others. But if anyone takes it outside, it can intimidate someone. Therefore, Xiao Qingyun was extremely happy that they could stay. The stay of these people gave her a few more right-hand men. And Xiao Xian did not interfere much with the Xiao family's choice. Wherever they go is their own choice, and who can guarantee that they will leave the Xiao family? Can't they shine brightly? After 3 months of adjustments, Xiao Xian's strength has been further improved. Since breaking through to the Great Dao realm, his understanding of the way of swordsmanship has deepened. When his realm broke through again, Xiao Xian entered the system to check his situation. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of the Xiao family. Cultivation realm, 4th level of Dao realm. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique. After completing the practice, you can reach the top of the immortal way, Jin Zhan Walong. After completing the practice, you can cut the void with the sword, 8-stage slash, the 3rd level. Magic weapon, heavenly top divine weapon waning moon sword. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, Wanjian Cave, 1000 Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Sky Monument. Supernatural powers, Bai's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, Strength Breaking 10,000 June, Aurora, Invincible. In 3 months, he once again broke through the realm. And he also learned a new magical power, Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed, during battle, the body skill can be increased 5 times in a short time, and can be integrated with the body skill. Although his current strength is one of the best in Tianzhou. But facing a strong man in the cave realm, he had no choice but to escape. Since Xiao Qingyun conquered the 3 major dynasties, the territory of Nanming has been peaceful. In addition to practicing basic training every day, everyone in the Xiao family is also very comfortable in the family. After the last battle with the White Dragon Lord, Xiao Xian got his netherworld fire. However, he originally prepared this strange fire for Xiao Yan, so Xiao Yan and others returned from the royal capital. Xiao Xian gave the strange fire to Xiao Yan. After more than 3 months, Xiao Yan also came out of seclusion in the enlightenment room today. Seeing Xiao Yan's changes, Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction. Yes, after devouring the strange fire, not only will your cultivation level reach the great perfection of the God transformation realm, but your combat power will also increase several times. Xiao Yan also felt his own changes. A strong confidence burst out from his eyes. For more than a year, he practiced hard and fought against Xiao Jiangs in every chance he got. Although he has never been famous in front of everyone, he is still a well-known genius in Nanming. Now that his cultivation realm has once again broken through, he has the ability to go to Yongxian sect and fulfill that agreement. Nalan Yan Ran, the 1.5-year appointment is coming soon, are you ready to fight me? The day I, Xiao Yan, set foot on the Yongxian sect, will be the day I avenge my previous humiliation. Thinking of this, he pushed away Xiao Xian's yard. At this time, Xiao Xian was playing with the flowers and plants in his yard, some of which were heaven-level fairy grass. He was not surprised to see Xiao Yan come in. He had sensed it a quarter of an hour ago. And Xiao Yan has only one purpose for coming here. That is to go to Yunxian Zone. Have you thought about it? Xiao Yan nodded. The 1.5-year appointment is coming soon, and the grudge between me and Nalan Yan Ran has come to an end. Hearing this, Xiao Xian put down the watering can in his hand and turned to look at him. Forget it, if you don't resolve this matter, I'm afraid it will become a hindrance to your cultivation path. After a pause, since you have decided to go to Yongxianzong, then several Dao realms of Yongxianzong will also pay attention to you because of what happened back then. But you don't need to worry, our Xiao family is no longer what it used to be, and those old monsters don't dare to attack you. Xiao Xian's words were very soft, but there was a reassuring feeling in his voice. Xiao Yan still remembers the scene when Xiao Xian appeared in front of him that day and stood up for him. This was also the biggest turning point in his life. Then Xiao Xian took out something from the house and handed it to Xiao Yan. Although this is not a good thing, if you are really in danger, opening it will protect you. No one below the cave void realm can hurt you at all. Xiao Yan was moved in his heart and bowed deeply to Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian nodded lightly, then took out a box of pills and a jade slip and handed them to him. This is the Xian Z soul washing pill, which can nourish the soul and bring it close to the physical state. The jade slips record some techniques that the soul body can practice. With time, the physical body can be cultivated. Xiao Yan didn't know how to speak. Suddenly the jade pendant on his chest flashed with inspiration. A white soul suddenly appeared in front of several people. Xiao Yan was a little shocked, wondering why Yao Lao chose to come out at this time. Thank you, Master. I am grateful. Yao Lao bowed and thanked Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian was not surprised by Yao Lao's appearance. No need to be too polite, this family leader should also thank you for your help to Xiao Yan over the years. Yao Lao understood clearly in his heart, this time I go to Yongxianzong, the head of the family can rest assured. Although Lao Chan is a soul body, he is not an ordinary person, and he will definitely be able to protect young Yan. Xiao Xian nodded and said nothing more. The master and apprentice thanked him and left to go to Yun Xianzong. On the way to Yungxianzong, Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask Yao Lao. Yao Lao, why did you suddenly show up just now? Yao Lao had just taken the Xianzi soul washing pill, and his soul state was now thicker than before. Now he doesn't need to worry that his soul and body will be burned even under the sun. I originally thought that your family master wanted to keep my secret, so he didn't reveal my existence. But after getting along with each other for these days, I found that he was not interested in these secrets of mine. It's more about seeing if I'm harmful to you. Moreover, the strength of your family leader is even more terrifying than the old monster from the era. Xiao Yan remained silent after listening to Yao Lao's words. He respects Xiao Xian extremely, so no matter how many secrets he has, he respects him very much. Xiao Yan will not explore it either. And at this time, Nalan Yan Ran has also returned from training abroad. When the elders of Yungxianzong received the news that she had returned to Yungxianzong, they went to Liankagong Cliff to look for her. Yan Ran, now that the new dynasty has been established, Nanming has become the first dynasty, and countless geniuses have emerged among it. Especially Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Jinjian, and Xiao Yan of the Xiao family. I remember that Xiao Yan of the Xiao family has a marriage contract with you. Nalan Yan Ran nodded. Although she had joined Yun Xianzong for many years, her connection with the family had not been broken. Therefore, she also knew about Xiao Yan's affairs, but Xiao Yan's efforts were in her eyes. Just to get her attention. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 56. I didn't expect him to work so hard to prove himself. Thinking of Xiao Yan's words back then, Nalan Yan Ran felt a little bitter in her heart. If she had not gone to break off the engagement, the two of them would have been the envy of the world as a couple. When the news about Xiao Yan reached her, Nalan Yan Ran felt a little regretful. Because of this, she gradually began to distance herself from Huang Tianba, so that she could feel better inside. The Xiao family has a king named Xiao Qingyun, a swordsman named Xiao Jiangxin, and a person named Jamal Xiao who is good at thunder and lightning. Xiao Yan even killed hundreds of powerful people in the God transformation realm in Nanming and the three great dynasties. There are many cultivators in the late stages of the divine transformation realm among them, and this is just the number of kills he has killed on this battlefield. Master's words made Nalan Yan Ran feel even heavier. Ever since she became his disciple, the master has been extremely devoted to her. As for the matter between her and Xiao Yan, although she didn't talk about it, she was investigating it secretly. Master, don't worry, no matter how powerful Xiao Yan is, he can't be my opponent. I was able to suppress him back then, but now that I have the inheritance of the king of killing Dao, I can defeat him even more easily. When Nalan Yan Ran said this, she was extremely confident, and her aura instantly erupted from the peak of the God transformation realm. The master nodded happily after hearing this. Although Nalan Yan Ran's qualifications are good, it is impossible to break through in a short period of time. All of this happened by chance to Nalan Yan Ran during her last experience. He actually obtained the entire inheritance of the king of Zhandao and fully understood it. In a short period of time, he surpassed Huang Tianba and reached the peak state of the God transformation realm. Become the well-deserved first genius of Yun Xianzong. And as Nalan Yan Ran's master, he naturally received more respect. Since you have such confidence, I feel relieved as a teacher. I just don't know if Xiao Yan will come here to keep the appointment. A trace of determination flashed in Nalan Yan Ran's eyes. He will definitely come. Even if he doesn't come, my disciple will go find him. Although the two of them had only met each other a few times, she already knew about it from the last time they were in the Xiao family. My fiancé is full of arrogance and is a man of his word. And that fateful encounter was what Xiao Yan said in front of her. It has taken root in her heart since then, and even though a year and a half has passed, she can still clearly remember the look in Xiao Yan's eyes that day. This was also the main reason why she gradually alienated Huang Tianba. Because she discovered that Xiao Yan was already in her heart. That's fine. After settling this matter, it's time for you to attack the Luo realm. With your qualifications, it is not impossible to reach the top of Dongxi realm in the future, and even kill the Dao King with one step. The master smiled happily and was very optimistic about Nalan Yanran. Disciple will definitely succeed. Nalan Yanran's eyes sparkled, and she had full confidence in herself. At this time, a majestic voice suddenly came from outside the Yungxian sect. Xiao Yan of the Xiao family of the southern Ming dynasty came to keep the appointment, and also asked Yun Xianzong Nalan Yanran to show up. Xiao Yan's voice rang throughout the Yungxian sect and echoed for a long time. Many disciples of the Yun Xian sect were attracted to watch. Xiao Yan of the Xiao family. How dare he come here? It seems that he is looking for senior sister. From the tone of his voice, it seems that there is something going on between the two of them. Even if there is a festival, there is only one Xiao Xian in the Xiao family who can take advantage of him. Who is Xiao Yan? Humph, no matter how powerful Xiao Xian is, he is only in Nanming. Who would know him outside Nanming? Xiao Yan is just showing off in the name of Xiao Xian. Due to the appearance of Xiao Yan, Yun Xianzong, which was originally peaceful, became lively at this moment. Many disciples are rushing here. On top of the main peak of Yungxian sect, Huang Tianba naturally heard Xiao Yan's voice. There was a trace of resentment and malice in his eyes, ever since he was seriously injured by Xiao Jiangxin. He has been recuperating and recuperating. Although he has good qualifications, the sect's top resources have been given to him. This barely made up for the previous shortcomings. Even so, he was still left far behind by Nalan Yanran. In addition, she has obtained the inheritance of the King of Killing Dao, and her cultivation level has improved rapidly. Because of this, Nalan Yanran gradually distanced herself from him. But even though he had all kinds of resentment, he didn't dare to settle the score with Nalan Yanran. Just because her master is a powerful person in the Dao realm that even her father is afraid of. And Xiao Yan also changed from an unknown person to an unknown person as time went by. He suddenly became a famous Xiao family genius, and even shone brightly in the war between Nanming and the three major dynasties. Xiao Yan, you still dare to come to Yun Xianzong. Today, I will make sure you never come back. Just because he didn't dare to take action against Nalan Yanran didn't mean that he was also afraid of Xiao Yan. So what if Tianjiao comes to Yungxian sect, even if he is in the Great Dao realm, he has to leave his life behind. Since I have made an agreement with you, I, Nalan Yanran, will not go back on my promise. Even if you don't come to me today, I will go to the Xiao family to find you to complete the agreement. Nalan Yanran's clear and sweet voice echoed in Yun Xianzong. Immediately afterwards, a light green figure flashed through the sky. At this time, more and more disciples gathered at the entrance of Yungxian sect. In the past, they would have taken action against Xiao Yan long ago. But after hearing Xiao Yan declare his family status, even if they were still dissatisfied, he also did not dare to say any inappropriate words to Xiao Yan. Just because behind him was the peerless swordsman Xiao Xian, who not only dared to offend the Great Thunder Holy Temple. He even managed to kill 4 late-stage Dao realm masters from the Blood Knife sect with just his cultivation at the 3rd level of the Dao realm. The Blood Knife sect, which has been rooted in Tianzhou for hundreds of years, has to be hidden. None of them wanted to provoke a man known as the God of Death. At this time, Nalan Yanran hurriedly arrived here. Seeing Xiao Yan again, Her heart was very complicated. There is both reluctance and regret. Looking at the high-spirited young man in front of her, she realized how stupid the decision she had made was. On the other hand, Xiao Yan, the moment he saw Nalan Yan ran, he could only fight. The purpose of his coming here today is to avenge his past humiliation. You've changed a lot, I thought you wouldn't come. Nalan Yan Ran's tone was somewhat helpless. Yun Xianzong is not a dragon in a tiger's den, and you are not an unparalleled genius. Why don't I dare to come? Xiao Yan's words were very soft, but extremely domineering. After hearing this, all the disciples of Yun Xianzong wanted to rush up and beat him up. Nalan Yan Ran smiled indifferently, and she stretched out her hand to tidy up a strand of hair on her forehead. Did you know that now I have the inheritance of the king of Daozhan, plus a special physique? My strength and fighting ability are even greater than before. It will not be easy for you to defeat me. Xiao Yan, however, didn't take it seriously. Since you have obtained the inheritance of the Dao-slaying king, then use it and let me see who is better. He can't be intimidated by a mere Tao-killing king, let alone his own strength. Even Yao Lao, who is a soul body, doesn't know how many times more powerful than the Dao-killing king. Seeing this, Nalan Yan Ran stopped talking nonsense and directly attacked him. I saw a long whip waving, driving a cold light towards Xiao Yan. This whip amazed countless disciples of Yungzian sect. In their eyes, Xiao Yan couldn't even catch this move. However, this terrifying whip was full of loopholes in Xiao Yan's eyes. This is not to blame for Nalan Yan Ran being too weak. Moreover, Xiao Yan came into contact with top talents like Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Qingyun, and Jamal Xiao. Even Xiao Yanyao, who kept talking nonsense, was much better than her. Therefore, Xiao Yan was very disappointed when faced with this whip. I saw him reaching out and grabbing the cold whip. A hot fire ignited instantly and quickly spread to Nalan Yan Ran's side. If she hadn't let go quickly enough, her entire arm would have been burned by the fire. Nalan Yan Ran was shocked. She thought her weakness was well hidden, but she didn't expect Xiao Yan to see it at a glance. Use all your strength, otherwise you won't be able to defeat me, Xiao Yan said calmly. Nalan Yan Ran was a little angry and took action again without talking nonsense. In an instant, the inherited skills and insights of the King of Killing Dao emerged. She saw white light emitting from her body, and the ice turned into a sword, attacking Xiao Yan. Seeing this, Xiao Yan clenched his fists with both hands, added strange fire, and punched Nalan Yan Ran in the air. Boom! The sky-wide flames instantly surrounded Nalan Yan Ran, punching her one after another. The beating made her retreat continuously, leaving her with no chance to defend herself. In just 3 breaths, Nalan Yan Ran was unable to resist. Nalan Yan Ran was shocked to find that she was no match for Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan is more powerful than he knows. Looking at the young man with a calm yet graceful face, she realized it at this moment. Xiao Yan is no longer the stubborn young man he was back then. However, as the first genius of Yungzian sect, he is also the direct disciple of the elder of the great Dao realm. How could she just give up and say, use all your strength and let me see the gap between you and me? You can't even catch my move, Xiao Yan refused without hesitation. But how could Nalan Yan Ran just give up? At this moment, she is slowly becoming the stubborn young man she once was. Let's take action. Xiao Yan looked at her in a daze. Before coming to Yungzianzong, he went back to the Xiao family branch and had a few glasses of wine with his old father. At the same time, he also talked about his long-lasting friendship with his old friend. Before the Nalan family moved out of Nanming, the relationship between the two families was considered very good. Nalan Yan Ran's father was even more kind to him and had nothing to say, but who would have thought? Just like this, 2 old friends' families actually ended up fighting to the point of life and death. Although he has no feelings for Nalan Yan Ran, his father treats her like his own daughter. Thinking of this, Xiao Yan no longer persisted. Since you insist on this, for the sake of your father, I will satisfy you. Nalan Yanran felt disappointed for a while, but she didn't expect him to agree to her request for the first time. It's because of my father. But Xiao Yan didn't care so much and directly merged several different fires together. The terrifying aura at the peak of the divine transformation realm exploded instantly, and the surrounding temperature suddenly increased. Many Yunxian sect disciples were burned by this strange fire, and even those in the Dao realm could not help but turn pale with shock. This strange fire can actually hurt their bodies. Xiao Yan concentrated the power of the strange fire into his palm, rose into the air, and punched Nalan Yanran. I saw a fireball coming towards me. Nalan Yanran's beauty suddenly turned pale, she simply couldn't take this move. Immediately afterwards, the fireball grazed the ends of his hair, bringing with it a burning smell. Behind her, a huge fire pit suddenly appeared. It was only the disciples of Yunxian sect who used secret methods to extinguish it. But the extremely high temperature still makes people afraid to approach. Nalan Yanran came back to her senses and looked at Xiao Yan blankly. How many % did you use this move? 30%. Nalan Yanran curled her lower lip in a self-deprecating tone, 30%. She couldn't even handle 30% of Xiao Yan's power, and she had even boasted about defeating him before. How ridiculous. At this moment, Nalan Yanran no longer had any arrogance. She looked at Xiao Yan. I give up, and I will never forget the agreement we made back then. If you write a letter of divorce, the engagement between you and me will be terminated. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that there was an engagement between the two. When Huang Tianba heard this, his resentment towards Xiao Yan became even deeper. At that time, he was deeply in love with Nalan Yanran, but she was already engaged. In order for Nalan Yanran to be with him, he did not hesitate to use his father to get her to agree to break off the engagement. In addition, Nalan Yanran was not very mature at the time, so she agreed to break off the engagement at home. But now, Nalan Yanran no longer had the arrogance she had before, but was more calm and calm. Xiao Yan looked at the girl in front of him silently. For more than a year, he never thought about defeating her and avenging his shame. But when that day really came, he felt relieved and looked away. So much so that even after winning the bet, he didn't even feel the pleasure of victory. Thinking of her father's feelings for her and the years of friendship between the two families, as well as Nalan Yanran's reputation as a woman, Xiao Yan did not write a letter of divorce in the end. I won't write the divorce letter. I have torn up the marriage letter from back then. From now on, you and I will go back to our own way. From now on, my Xiao family and your Nalan family have nothing to do with each other. The past grudges have been wiped out. Xiao Yan spoke calmly, then cut off the robe on his body with a sword and waved it into the air. Then he turned around and left. From the beginning to the end, he never glanced at Nalan Yanran. Nalan Yanran looked at the robe slowly falling in the air, and then looked at the figure who decided to leave, and she suddenly felt lost. When Huang Tianba saw the lost Nalan Yanran, he suddenly felt angry. I saw him suddenly jump out from the crowd. Xiao Yan, Yun Xianzong, still want to get out of here alive? I haven't settled the grudge with you yet. Do you think you can grow to this point just by yourself? Bah! It's not like Xiao Xian won the Kailan sect's most precious treasure. Otherwise, how could maggots like you in a small county develop as far as you do today? It's ridiculous. These words caused dissatisfaction among many people in Yun Xianzong. Xiao Xian was able to obtain the Kailan sect's rare treasure and use it on his own body, which was also his good fortune. He was so nice that he said the grapes were sour when he couldn't eat them, and even preached in public. Not only the disciples of Yun Xianzong can't stand it. Even the senior officials didn't do it because he was the son of the sect leader. They couldn't help but want to reprimand him. but Xiao Yan turned a deaf ear to this. His main purpose of coming here this time was to settle the matter with Nalan Yan Ran. However, Huang Tianba became angry and felt that the other party was looking down on him. Taking advantage of Xiao Yan's unpreparedness, he suddenly launched a sneak attack on him. This move caused everyone in Yun Xian zone to turn pale with shock. If the genius of the Xiao family falls in their Yun Xian sect, the god of killing will definitely use all his strength. Bloodbath Yun Xian zone. This Huang Tianba simply succeeds more than fails. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 57. It can be seen from Xiao Yan's skill level that he is one of the Xiao family's direct descendants. With Xiao Xian's protective character, he will definitely come up with a sword and kill him. It's not that they are afraid of Xiao Xian. But anyone who offends the Xiao family will only end up in one end, disappear. Huang Tianba. Are you crazy? Thankfully, you are still the senior brother of Yun Xian zone, and you don't even have this bit of vision. Huang Tianba, you have brought great trouble to the sect. Several elders took the lead in trying to stop Huang Tianba's sneak attack. However, since the other party took action, they were already prepared. Huang Tianba, who was overwhelmed by anger and jealousy, didn't care what the consequences would be. As long as Xiao Yan can be killed here. The elders of Yunxian sect naturally have ways to explain all this to the outside world. Even if they are unwilling to come forward, his father will not let him go. Everyone couldn't help but sigh. A generation of legendary geniuses fell like this. Secondly, I still don't know what terrible things Xiao Xian will do. Although Xiao Yan never looked back, he also knew the direction of Huang Tianba's attack. Huang Tianba looked at Xiao Yan, who was close at hand. A triumphant smile flashed in his eyes. Suffer death. However, just when he was about to touch Xiao Yan, suddenly a big palm slapped him on the chest. His full blow was easily caught by the other party. Want to kill me? You still have to practice for a few more years. Looking at Huang Tianba with murderous eyes, Xiao Yan looked gloomy. Without saying a word, he condensed the 8 kinds of strange fire into the palm of his hand. It landed directly on Huang Tianba's chest. Xiao Yan has always wanted to take revenge on those who want to kill him. Never show mercy. The scorching heat caused Huang Tianba to fall to the ground and roll around, as if he was being eroded by magma. When the disciples of the sect saw this, they intuitively felt relieved. Finally someone taught him a lesson. Relying on the fact that he is the son of the sect leader, he dominates and dominates. Today, he did such a thing regardless of the safety of his sect. All the sect disciples became dissatisfied with him. How dare you? How dare you cause trouble in our Yunxian sect? A roar sounded in the air. Then he saw 2 figures falling from the sky. The visitors were none other than Huang Tianba's father Yun and his great-grandfather. When the 2 saw this scene, they were immediately angry. Tianba, my father will heal you. The head of the Yunxian sect hurriedly helped Huang Tianba expel the strange fire from his body. And his great-grandfather was staring at Xiao Yan angrily at this moment. My grandson just attacked you sneakily, and you actually wanted to put him to death. Xiao Yan looked at the other party calmly, without any fear. He was the one who attacked me first. I was just acting in self-defense. Although Huang Tianba was no longer suffering from the erosion of strange fire at this time. But his face was ashen and full of despair. Father, grandfather, my dantian is broken. Xiao Yan destroyed my dantian, you have to avenge me. At this moment, Huang Tianba completely forgot that he was the first to sneak attack Xiao Yan. The 2 people who heard this were instantly furious. Huang Tianba's grandfather directly unleashed the pressure of a powerful man in the Great Dao realm and locked Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan. You are so cruel. You actually broke my grandson's dantian into pieces. The terrifying pressure of the great Dao realm instantly suppressed Xiao Yan. It seemed like it was going to break him into pieces. However, the jade pendant in front of him suddenly flashed, and the pressure of the powerful man in the great Dao realm disappeared instantly. Xiao Yan looked calm and looked down upon the old man. Keeping him alive is just for Yun Xianzong's sake. If not, it will be more than just the dantian being destroyed. How presumptuous! You can obviously be merciful. But you insist on crushing his dantian. You clearly did it on purpose. Huang Tianba's father angrily scolded Xiao Yan. They completely forgot how they stood idly by as Huang Tianba attacked Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan sneered, "I'm not a saint, why should I show mercy? I didn't kill him just now. I regret it now. I am not a sage, so I will take off your dantian. This will make up for the mistakes you made." After saying this, the old man jumped into the air. His hands were in the shape of claws, heading towards Xiao Yan's dantian. When Huang Tianba saw this scene, a sinister smile appeared on his lips. "Xiao Yan, so what if you are a genius? Under such a terrifying blow, do you still have a chance to survive?" The old man's terrifying pressure attracted the attention of the powerful men around him. Many people were wondering why the old man from Yun Xianzong suddenly took action. What's wrong with this Yun Xianzong man? Why is he so angry all of a sudden? I heard that his grandson's dantian was destroyed by Xiao Yan. Now I want to take Xiao Yan's dantian and give it to his grandson. What? Doesn't that mean he becomes a cripple? Xiao Yan is the Xiao Yan from the Xiao family in Nanming. A passerby who knew the inside story told the whole story. Everyone snorted with disdain. Obviously it was Huang Tianba who did the bad thing first, and he was just trying to protect himself, but the three of them actually put all the blame on Xiao Yan. It's worthy of 3 generations. You still have the nerve to take someone's pubic area. Let Xiao Xian know this, Yun Xianzong will not escape disaster. Since they dare to do it, they are not afraid that Xiao Xian will come to their door. The mountains are high and the roads are far away, and Xiao Yan is alone. Even if he died here, Xiao Xian would not know. Alas, it's just such a pity for such a talented person. In the face of absolute strength, Xiao Yan is even the direct descendant of the Xiao family. There is no escape from bad luck. However, Xiao Yan showed no fear when facing the old man who was coming towards him. He opened the scroll that Xiao Xian gave him and threw it into the air. He saw a sword light flash out from it, and then directly neutralized the opponent's killing move. Everyone couldn't help but be surprised when they saw this scene. I saw a figure in white appearing in the scroll. Although there is only his back, there is an eternal aura about him. Everyone has been informed of his identity. The moment they saw that figure, they felt a desire to worship. With just a painting and a sword energy, he was able to neutralize the killing move of a strong man in the great Dao realm. While everyone breathed a sigh of relief, they were also impressed by Xiao Xian. However, Huang Tianba's grandfather couldn't control that much. At this moment, he has only one purpose, to dig out Xiao Yan's dantian. As a direct descendant of the Xiao family, his dantian must be better than Huang Tianba's. If Huang Tianba could possess this dantian, he would definitely be able to enter the cave realm. Bring Yun Xianzong to another higher level. It's just a painting, do you think it can save you? Give me your life. The old man leaped up and concentrated his fist. He rushed towards Xiao Yan with terrifying fist intent. And the portrait seemed to sense danger. He actually protected Xiao Yan behind him. Immediately afterwards, the figure in white clothes in the painting walked out in full view of everyone. This scene is so shocking. Under everyone's gaze, he was seen pointing to the sword. A sword energy was condensed and fell directly towards the old man. The old man was also directly knocked away by the attack of the sword energy. The shadow coming out of the painting was not affected at all. Countless people were shocked. Xiao Xian's shadow was so powerful. This is just a shadow. Even the elders can be knocked away. How terrifying is his true strength. This terrifying aura is nothing more than that even if a real person is present. None of them could have imagined it. Xiao Xian's strength is so terrifying that even a phantom is comparable to a real person. At this time, Xiao Xian's shadow clasped his hands behind his back and looked at the old man indifferently. It seems that Yun Xianzong feels that he has been around for too long, so he wants to provoke the Xiao family. Xiao Xian's domineering words made everyone take a breath. He is still the first person in Yun Xianzong who dares to say such murderous words. Therefore, all the disciples of Yungxian sect were angry. Humph. Xiao Xian, do you really think that you are invincible because you founded Nanming and led the Xiao family to a sudden rise? Not only did Xiao Yan come to Yun Xianzong to cause trouble, he also seriously injured my grandson and destroyed his danshan. I just want you and the Xiao Yan to stay here today, and no one else dares to say anything. The old man angrily rebuked Xiao Xian. In his eyes, Huang Tianba was the rising genius of Yun Xian sect. Now that Tianjiao was destroyed, how could he be willing to do so? The head of Yungxian sect helped Huang Tianba stand up and stared at Xiao Xian angrily. Xiao Xian, don't bully others too much. If you give me an explanation for what happened to my son today, you won't even think about stepping out of Yun Xianzong. Even the supreme elder on the side appeared at this moment and fought side by side with the leader of Yungxian sect. Xiao Xian, even if you have monstrous abilities, you are just a ray of soul. Regarding Yun Xianzong, we will make sure that this ray of soul of yours is destroyed. After saying that, he released the pressure of his great realm. If it were Xiao Xian himself who came today, they would still be a little wary. But this is just a ray of soul, no matter how powerful the previous moves are. It was just used to scare them. They don't believe in the power of three people, and they can't even take down a ray of soul and a young boy. When Xiao Xian heard this, he smiled coldly. Explain? It just so happens that the head of the family also has this intention. Even with a ray of soul, my master can severely injure the three of you. You guys, what qualifications do you have to keep this ray of my soul? The supreme elder of Yun Xianzong took action directly against Xiao Xian. If they don't teach Xiao Xian a lesson today, how will the world view their Yun Xian sect? Presumptuous. We are also worthy of you. Sect Master, Supreme Elder, let's teach him a lesson directly. So that he knows that Yun Xianzong is not someone to be bullied. Huang Tianba's grandfather took the lead and jumped up. The punch shook the heaven and the earth, and the terrifying pressure made countless people tremble. Upon seeing this, the other elders immediately took action and launched an attack on Xiao Xian. However, Xiao Xian pointed to the sword and said indifferently, "The sword rises and breaks." As soon as he finished speaking, the swords in the hands of the disciples of Yungxian sect started to tremble. Flying directly into the sky, he defeated the three people's killing moves. One of the swords even missed the throat of the leader of the Yungxian sect. I will throw out a sword. If the three of you can catch it, I will not argue with you about what happened today. Xiao Xian's words undoubtedly made the leader of Yungxian sect and others even more angry. But how could he care about their emotions? I saw Xiao Xian's sword in the air, and countless sword lights condensed on the sky. Brush. The sword energy passed by. It triggered a wave of swords. Tens of thousands of sword energy gathered into a golden sword and came towards them. The expressions of the three elders changed drastically. They could not avoid this sword. Once dodged, this terrifying and overbearing sword energy will directly level the entire Yun Xian sect. Therefore, the three of them could only use the ultimate move to resist Xiao Xian's sword. However, how could they take Xiao Xian's sword? Boom! Under a burst of aurora, the three elders were repelled by the sword light. The sword power that burst out shook several mountains of Yungzian sect to their peaks. The three elders turned pale and fell to the ground, unable to move for a long time. With this look, his true energy was undoubtedly damaged. Xiao Xian severely injured the three elders with just one after-image of his soul. Seeing this scene, countless people fell silent. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 58. Xiao Xian relied on a ray of soul to seriously injure the three elders of Yun Xian Zone with one sword. One of them is at the 8th level of the Great Dao realm. Such terrifying strength once again shocked everyone. The three elders clutched their chests and sat on the ground unable to move. The eyes looking at Xiao Xian were full of anger, but there was nothing that could be done to him. The father of the Yungzian sect leader was the most seriously injured. Not only was his physical body injured by the sword, but his soul was also eroded by the force of the sword. Although there were no other problems visible on his appearance at this moment, he didn't have much life left. Even if he doesn't take action against Xiao Xian, his vitality will gradually disappear. At this moment, other Dao realm elders from Yungzian sect also rushed over. Looking at the scene in front of them, the expressions of several people changed drastically. In particular, the three elders who were above the 7th level of the Great Dao realm were all severely injured by Xiao Xian. Several people were even more afraid of Xiao Xian. Even if they want to seek justice, they have to be wary of Xiao Xian's strength. The swords used by Xiao Xian Zheng just now were shattered because they could not withstand the powerful sword intent. At this time, Xiao Xian looked at several other elders of Yun Xian Zone. A hint of sword intent emerged from his body once again. His eyes fell indifferently on the head of the Yungzian sect and his father. Several elders of Yungzian sect knew what he meant when they saw this. One of them stepped forward and bowed to Xiao Xian. Master Xiao is worthy of his extraordinary strength. We, Yun Xian Zone, have admitted defeat. What happened today is that we, Yun Xian Zone, were at fault first. Please also ask Han, the head of the Xiao family. I, Yun Xian Zone, will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Even though he was unwilling in every way. In front of Xiao Xian's strength, he had to bow his head. The people around him were even more shocked and their eyes widened at the elder's humble gesture. Yun Xian Zone, who has always been strong and has several Dao realm elders in charge. There will be such a day. When the disciples of Yungzian sect saw this scene, they felt a burst of humiliation in their hearts. When had Yun Xian Zone ever been so angry? But Xiao Xian's terrifying strength made even the elders bow down, so what could they do? Xiao Xian immediately withdrew his sword and looked at him with disdain. Yun Xian Zone has already spoken, so the head of the family is waiting for the final result. Then it turned into a golden light and shadow and returned to the painting. Master Xiao, don't worry. Seeing that Xiao Xian didn't care too much, the elder's attitude became even more humble. Xiao Yan took back the scroll and left Yun Xian Zone indifferently. Now he has given up his obsession. The next step is to practice hard and seize the time to break through the low realm. Until Xiao Yan's figure completely disappeared from Yun Xian Zone. Everyone slowly reacted. The two elders who were seriously injured among them angrily threw their sleeves and left the scene. The father of the Yungzian sect leader was the most seriously injured, but he had no time to nurse him back to health. This matter was caused by Huang Tianba, who was Huang Tianba's grandfather. An explanation must be given to all the disciples. Everyone, starting from today, I will take Huang Tianba to the back mountain forbidden area for retreat. What happened today will never happen again in the future. However, how could the elders easily agree to this matter? This matter was done by Huang Tianba, but the sect leader cannot escape his responsibility. If he hadn't condoned it, how could we be in today's situation? Yes, besides, this result is not what Xiao Xian wants to see. A new sage should be appointed as the head of the Yungzian sect, and the former head should also pay for his mistakes. The old man was furious inside, but unable to make any changes. Therefore, we can only be forced to accept this decision. The reason why Huang Tianba and his son have been able to stand in Yungzianzong for so long. It's all because he is relying on him behind the scenes. Now he is about to become the core power of their lineage. They will soon be decomposed by other elders. Such actions are just a disguised form of guarding them. Then the old man took Huang Tianba and his son to the Yungzian sect's forbidden area. The backs of the three people were bleak, especially the old man's, who suddenly looked older. However, no one sympathized with them. On the contrary, there are still many who resent them. Yun Xianzong is now at peace. This is their own fault. Now the Xiao family has become completely famous in Tianzhou. With just a shadow, the three elders of Yungzian sect were severely injured. No one in Tianzhou would dare to attack the Xiao family again. That's not necessarily true. There are several strong men in the cave realm outside Tianzhou, and there are several other major sects, none of which are stronger than the Xiao family. Having said that, they are not willing to take the initiative to provoke a peerless killer like Xiao Xian. Nalan Yanran jumped up and reached the highest point of the sect. Looking at the retreating figure, I felt a throbbing pain in my heart. She suddenly regretted what she had done a year and a half ago, when she looked down on Xiao Yan. Nowadays, Xiao Yan doesn't like her either. After all, there is a bit of a gap between them. In order to allow himself to reach the same height as Xiao Yan, Nalan Yanran has been immersed in practice every day since then, just to follow in Xiao Yan's footsteps. However, how did she know that Xiao Yan and she were no longer in the same world? Just like she was a year and a half ago. As time goes by, Xiao Xian's affairs in Yun Xianzong have spread throughout Tianzhou. With a ray of his soul, he severely injured the three elders of Yungzian sect. Directly suppressed the entire Yungzian sect, even the elders who appeared one after another. Seeing Xiao Xian's shadow, he had to bow his head and apologize, and the former head of Yungzian sect. He was also taken to a forbidden place by his father, never to appear again. Xiao Xian's domineering strength was once again vividly displayed in front of everyone. The strength that Xiao Yan showed in Yun Xianzong was unmatched even by Nalan Yanran, who inherited the inheritance of the king of killing Dao. Then he smashed Huang Tianba's dantian with one palm, and his extraordinary talent made the supreme elder want to take it as his own. It was Xiao Xian who came forward to rescue him. At this time, Xiao Yan had gone to the enlightenment room to practice since he came back from Yun Xianzong, preparing to break through the low realm. Xiao Jiangxin has been practicing outside during this period and has already broken through the low realm. At this time, he has gone to more distant places to experience. Xiao Qingyun has been in the low realm for a while and is now breaking through to the next stage. Jamal Xiao was not far behind. After returning from training outside, he plunged into the enlightenment room. Judging from the momentum coming from inside, it seems that the breakthrough to the low realm has only occurred in the past few days. Even Xiao Yanyao, the king of sluts, followed closely behind and broke through to the realm of divine transformation. Xiao Xian, who had nothing to do, went to the Thousand Buddha Hall and walked around. Since the establishment of Thousand Buddha Hall, the physical strength of the disciples in the family has been greatly improved. You said it would be okay if he occupied the first place on the list for 1 level and 2 levels, but he actually occupied the first place on the list for every level. Who knew he could be anonymous like this? I've never seen such a person. Have you not seen that Xiao Tiantian, Xiao Xiao and the other geniuses have re-entered the level many times, and they can't even surpass him? As soon as Xiao Xian arrived at the entrance of Thousand Buddha's Hall, he heard a group of people discussing around the ranking table of Thousand Buddha's Hall. He has seen several of the geniuses they mentioned. With good talent and a spiritual body, he will be the mainstay of the Xiao family in the future. But these three people were forced by the mysterious person to re-enter the rankings. This couldn't help but make Xiaoxian interested. If you can only grow by hiding, I must show you what strength is. This unexpected voice immediately confused Xiaoxian. If the system hadn't rewarded two geniuses before, he would have suspected that someone strong had invaded the Xiao family. However, before Xiaoxian could recover, another voice came over. If I hadn't cleared the level to get a reward that could heal my sister, Grandpa, I wouldn't have come here to clear the level. But with Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Qingyun, Xiao Jinjian and other Xiao family geniuses shining brightly in front, Grandpa, I don't have to worry about being discovered one day. In this way, not only will my reincarnated Tianzun's identity not be discovered, but under the cover of the Xiao family, I can also go all the way back to the peak of my cultivation, and even set foot on the galaxy. Who would have thought at that time that this heavenly lord is just an unknown member of the Xiao family, a collateral branch of the ordinary who cannot be more ordinary? Xiaoxian followed this inner thought and searched the crowd with his chaotic pupils. After a while, I saw a young man sweeping the floor dressed in grey and looking like a servant. Fuck. Why did this old and immortal head of the Xiao family suddenly come here today? Isn't he in seclusion on weekdays besides practicing? Grandpa's milk, it's coming as soon as it comes, why are you always staring at me? The boy sweeping the floor saw Xiaoxian staring at him, and turned around to sweep the other side in a hurry. Xiaoxian's face turned dark due to the inner activities of the sweeping boy. Why aren't you leaving? I've become so ordinary now. Why is he still staring at me? Could it be that I was exposed? It shouldn't be, I even hid my eyes, not to mention, who can connect a generation of heavenly beings with an ordinary boy sweeping the floor? The boy sweeping the floor turned around and glanced at Xiaoxian quietly. Seeing that the other party was still staring at me, I almost exploded. Xiaoxian, I belong to your grandparents. There are so many talented people in the Xiao family, why are you always looking at me? Is it possible that you are still as good as Long Yang? No wonder, talented people like Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, and Jamal Xiao are so valued by you. They have extremely deep exchanges of feelings. In terms of combat effectiveness, Xiaoxian should be an attacker. Tisk tisk, it's hard to imagine the coquettish looks of those geniuses. I just don't know how durable they are. Xiaoxian's face became increasingly gloomy under the inner activities of the sweeping boy. First, he is not as good as Long Yang. Secondly, he not only has strong combat power, but also has stronger durability. You can also change various postures. Nonsense. He was all set by this guy. After gathering his emotions, Xiaoxian used his chaotic pupils to check the details of the boy sweeping the floor. Xiao Junlin, Tianzun is reincarnated. He is currently at the 4th level of cultivation. During the Hunyuan War, he competed with powerful men of the same level for a peerless treasure. Although he crushed other strong men with his super strength, he himself also perished and was reincarnated. The treasure also recognized Xiao Junlin as his master. After his reincarnation, this treasure was handed down from the Void Dharma realm. It contains tremendous power, but it must exist as an ordinary person in order to obtain the true meaning of the treasure. When the supreme treasure is cultivated to 100%, you can transcend the world and step into the galaxy. In addition, this treasure also gave Xiao Junlin the Void Sky Eye and the Void Sky Cauldron. False Sky Eye can predict the future and detect events that are likely to happen in the near future. Xiaoshan Cauldron can help it hide information from anyone's prying eyes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 59. Xiaoxian looked at Xiao Junlin with a black line on his face. No wonder this guy kept his name anonymous and was willing to just be a sweeper. It turns out there is such a treasure. System, show me the image of Xiao Junlin breaking into the Thousand Buddhas Hall. I would like to see how strong the reincarnated Heavenly Lord is. Then a picture appeared in Xiao Xian's mind. The Thousand Buddha Hall is divided into 100 levels, and each level is divided into 10 small levels. Each small level also has a ranking list. If you want to be number 1 on the Thousand Buddha Hall list, in addition to having enough total experience, your score in each small level must also be number 1 on the list. At this time, a young boy with red lips and white teeth appeared on the screen. Under his proud smile, it seemed that the experience in the Thousand Buddha Hall was not worth spending too much strength on him. Except for the last level, which took half a day. He only spent a quarter of an hour on the remaining levels. His talent and strength are no less than those of Xiao Jiangxin, Xiao Yan, and other family geniuses. He is worthy of being a reincarnated Heavenly Lord. His strength is worthy of being a legendary genius. Xiao Xian couldn't help but admire in his heart. After Xiao Junlin successfully cleared the level, a video and 2 white jade bottles appear on the main hall of Thousand Buddhas Hall. Congratulations on successfully clearing the level. You will be rewarded with a marrow cleansing pill, which can be reborn after taking it, and a Shen Yuan pill, which can cure all injuries after taking it. Now that I have received this reward, not only can my sister's injuries be treated, but her qualifications can also become better. However, the head of the Xiao family is really capable. Not only has he obtained the treasure, but he has also been able to hide his strength for so many years. He is indeed an old cunt. Although the yin is a bit yin, it is still good for the people in the family. Now that my sister's elixir is solved, I should continue to be useless. After all, staying silent is the right way to go. Xiao Junlin took the white jade bottle and left directly from the Thousand Buddha Hall, not forgetting to change his appearance again. When Xiao Xian saw this, his face became darker and darker. This guy actually slandered him like this here. Still holding his reward. This is too lawless. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Xiao Xian walked directly towards Xiao Junlin. It's not that he was attracted by Xiao Junlin's qualifications, but that he couldn't stand this tone. After all, the Xiao family already has so many geniuses, and he needs special attention from each of them. There is no need to do other things. It was really uncomfortable for him to hold this breath. Fuck. Is this coming towards me? Is it possible that this old immortal Xiao Xian really has a crush on me? No way. You are already old, but I am still a baby. Uncle, we are not suitable for each other. Please, please leave as soon as possible. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Who knows what hobbies you have? Staying by your side is not like letting a sheep fall into a tiger's mouth. I'm still a virgin. When Xiao Xian heard this, he almost couldn't help but slap this guy to death. You can do whatever you want, my master will do as you wish. But you can't slander the head of the family like this. You're good at sweeping the floor. Whose kid are you from? Xiao Xian had a very kind smile on his face, which made people feel very comfortable just looking at him. Xiao Junlin was extremely respectful on the face, but he was already embarrassed in his heart. Master, I am the son of Xiao Se, a branch of Beiping County. Because of my average talent, my family arranged for me to clean at the master's house. I hope I can make some progress. Little kid, you are just a little kid. Grandpa, I am the reincarnation of Heavenly Lord. I don't know how much older than you. If it weren't for the sake of completing the task, Grandpa, I wouldn't come here to sweep the floor. A branch of Beiping County, a branch with average talent. Except for your father, no one can achieve greatness. Seeing as your qualifications are so poor, you won't be able to become enlightened even if you are placed in the enlightenment room. The talent in your family is as bad as Kukaki, but you don't need to blame yourself. Your inability to become enlightened is your innate talent. When Xiao Junlin heard Xiao Xian's words, he almost ran away. Although nothing happened on the surface, I was already going crazy on the inside. You old immortal bitch, you are Cookaki, your whole family is rotten wood. Grandpa, I am the reincarnation of Tianzun, and I don't know how powerful my talents are, I can't help but kill someone. As for the master, although the junior's qualifications are not good, my elder sister's qualifications are the best in the family. This junior is also in the favor of my elder sister, so he stayed in the master's house and got a job of sweeping the floor. As for the younger generation, I don't have much ambition, as long as I can spend this life safely. Xiao Junlin lowered his head very low, leaving only the back of Xiao Xian's head. Because he was afraid that if he raised his head a little higher, he would see him gnashing his teeth. Old immortal Xiao Xian, you've asked enough. When you've asked enough, get out of here, your grandpa, I'm going to be pissed off by you. If possible, Xiao Junlin really wanted to pounce and tear Xiao Xian's face apart. Hearing Xiao Junlin's angry words and crazy look, Xiao Xian felt much relieved immediately. Xiao Se is also a person who has contributed to the family. Your sister's qualifications are not bad, but she gave birth to a useless you. Let's do this. From today on, you will stay with my master. It just so happens that no one is disturbing the flowers and plants in my master's yard. You can still practice Kung Fu on weekdays, and my master can also give you some pointers. Maybe one day you will have an epiphany like Xiao Jiangxin. Xiao Xian's gentle look turned into a man-eating evil in Xiao Junlin's eyes. Who wants to stay by your side? Your grandpa, I wish I could kick you away. Only you deserve to be guarded by my grandpa, think of me as a watchdog. I'm worried about you, the family master, but I have average qualifications and a bit of stupidity. I'm afraid I will bring a lot of trouble to the family master. Why don't I give this opportunity to others who need it more than me? When he was waiting for Xiao Xian to nod, he found that this guy actually looked at him and smiled even more lovingly. Just as he was about to continue talking, he heard the comments around him. It was more of an accusation than a comment. It's your blessing that the head of the family likes you. You're so ungrateful. With this qualification, do you still have the nerve to reject the head of the family? I think he's just pretending, waiting for the head of the family to give him a better job. Bah! Shameless. Xiao Junlin was filled with doubts. What is this? He doesn't need Xiao Xian's guidance at all. There's no need to pretend, just based on his status as the reincarnated heavenly lord, 10 Xiao Xian are not enough for him to fight. What kind of brain circuits do these people have? Xiao Junlin looked at Xiao Xian and said it was reasonable. After hearing what he said, Xiao Xian would definitely say something to ask him to practice well. Why hasn't this guy shown any sign of anything yet? There were more and more accusations around him, and some people even stared at him angrily. He even threatened to form a group to beat him up. Oh my god! Didn't he just reject Xiao Xian's promotion? As for this, in the end, Xiao Junlin couldn't withstand the accusations and curses from these people, and agreed to Xiao Xian. Thank you very much, master. Being able to practice with the master is a blessing that I have earned over many lifetimes. Nonsense. If it weren't for the fear of being spitted to death, I wouldn't agree to be your follower. It's pity that my lifelong reputation has been ruined like this. Bah, bah, I am a strong-willed man. Xiao Xian closed his eyes and took a deep breath. She suppressed the urge to slap him to death. That's very good. Then you and my master can leave together now. Xiao Xian even spoke with gritted teeth. Although Xiao Junlin lowered his head, he could still feel the envious looks from around him. Therefore, he greeted Xiao Xian endlessly in his heart, and Xiao Xian became known as the old slut. Master, I am very happy to be promoted by you today. Such a happy thing. Xiao Junlin followed Xiao Xian with small steps. He was suddenly interrupted by Xiao Xian in the middle of what he said. I have already notified your father and sister. You just need to stay by my side with peace of mind. How could Xiao Xian not know Xiao Zhiju in Xiao Junlin's heart? So after he found out that Xiao Junlin was another genius rewarded by the system, he added the slander against himself. How could he miss this opportunity to rectify Xiao Junlin? ICAO is your ancestor, I can't say ancestor, he and I have the same roots and lineage. You old fool, old cunt, shameless. Along the way, Xiao Junlin never stopped slandering Xiao Xian. It wasn't until he entered the courtyard that Xiao Junlin stopped thinking. Xiao Xian entered the room to get something. Xiao Junlin was attracted by the exotic flowers and plants in Xiao Xian's yard. I didn't expect this old man to be able to live a good life. The flowers and plants are quite decent. Fuck. It is actually a middle-grade imperial chrysanthemum, one of the top 10 innate spiritual root flowers and plants. And Huangzongli, legend has it that just by smelling the fragrance of a flower, one can attain the Taoist path of 10,000 years. This Xiao Xian is too mysterious. At this moment, Xiao Xian walked out of the room. In his hand was a piece of butter, a red rope as thick as a finger, and a long stick that looked like a pillar. Seeing this, Xiao Junlin felt his anus tighten. This guy is actually having so much fun. Xiao Xian couldn't hold it back and hit him on the head with a stick. Xiao Junlin held the red rope in his hand and cried on his face. He doesn't want to tie me up. Master, I am still young and not suitable. This is a telescopic rod used to fix the hollow willow so that it can better absorb nutrients. The leash is asking you to mark the 10 innate spiritual root flowers and plants. As for this butter, it is used to smear the yellow plums. It can ensure its absorption without worrying about its inability to adapt to the climate and depletion. Xiao Junlin felt relieved after hearing this. However, Xiao Xian's next words made him go berserk in an instant. There aren't many flowers and plants in my yard, only about 100 acres. You just need to get water from the spiritual spring from the mountain for irrigation every day. You only need to irrigate twice a day, and you can spend the rest of the time practicing. Xiao Junlin was petrified. What do you mean, only 100 acres? Only needs to be irrigated twice. You are so awesome, why don't you do it yourself? What are you looking for? Xiao Xian, what the fuck, uncle, you are clearly trying to trick me on purpose. Okay, you let me tidy up the yard, right, I steal a little bit every day, but I get a little bit of my reward every day, can you still find out? There are more than 100 acres of exotic flowers and plants, but there are less than 1,800 plants. Can you still find them? However, as soon as his idea was implemented, Xiao Xian slapped him on the shoulder. She looked at him with a smile on her face. The flowers and plants here will be counted and recorded every day by a dedicated person. If one plant is missing, dead or withered, it will be recorded on your head. At that time, your resources will be deducted according to the preciousness of the flowers and plants. If you don't have enough, we will deduct it from your sister. If you don't have enough, we will deduct it from your father. If you still can't make up for the loss, then we can only deduct it from the resources of your branch clan. Xiao Junlin immediately straightened his back and spoke righteously. Don't worry, owner, especially on one day, there won't be any less of these flowers and plants. Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction, then turned and left. As for Xiao Junlin, naturally, he continued to slander Xiao Xian in his heart. As expected of an old cunt who has lived for decades, I really can't compare to you in this way. If it weren't for the resources of my sister and my family, these flowers and plants, I would absorb them all for you in 1 year. Seeing the exotic flowers and plants in the yard, Xiao Junlin was extremely excited. Any one of them would greatly increase his sister's cultivation. Especially among the top 10 innate spiritual root flowers and plants, there is a high probability of transforming into a spiritual body after taking them. But now he can't move even if his heart is moved. This is related to the resources of the entire clan. Not to mention stealing, even the natural withering of flowers and plants, he has to be responsible for it. Xiao Junlin felt like crying without tears. Xiao Xian, you must be sent by God to punish me. You said you didn't want to practice in seclusion, so why did you go to the Thousand Buddhas Hall? Just go, why did you bring me here? The key is that it also allowed me to see so many exotic flowers and plants. Do you know how uncomfortable it feels to be able to see but not eat them? As for Xiao Xian, he was reading a book leisurely at the moment. He just liked to see Xiao Junlin trying to kill him but not being able to kill him. Half a month passed like this. Xiao Junlin was almost depressed. Especially after he returned to the family, he complained about Xiao Xian to his sister. But instead she was criticized by him, and he even asked her to learn from Xiao Xian with a look of admiration. Xiao Junlin became even more depressed. Xiao Junlin was depressed, but Xiao Xian was happy. Xiao Junlin had just finished irrigating all the flowers and plants that day. Suddenly I remembered that I hadn't used the false heavenly eye for a while. Hey, what the false eye is looking at this time is actually related to me. A genius in the Xiao family is about to die, and he is still on his way to Tianzhou. Is this impossible? It seems that the Xiao family has no branches outside Tianzhou, but the false eyes will not lie to others. Should I tell that old bastard Xiao Xian? After all, apart from being a bit wicked, he also has nothing to say to the people in his family. The resources in the family only got better and better after he took over. But in what way do I say it? If you say it directly, you will definitely be regarded as a fool. Say it sideways. He asked me how I knew. What should I answer? Forget it, let's just wait and see what happens. Although false eyes can see the future is an uncontrollable factor. What if it's the same as those things before, and it's not necessarily changed? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 60. Xiao Xian is reading in the study at the moment. Naturally, he heard all Xiao Junlin's inner thoughts outside. It's just that he is a little confused. Almost all direct descendants of the Xiao family are in Tianzhou. Why are there still Xiao family prodigies coming from outside? Then he thought about the Xiao family's destruction. At that time, except for a few people who escaped with him, there are other core personnel who also protect other direct descendants of the Xiao family. That makes sense. It seems that he was not the only direct descendant of the Xiao family who escaped back then. Among the rewards given by the system these few times, there are two legendary geniuses. In addition to Xiao Junlin, there is another genius who has not appeared until now. Even though he spent a lot of time searching, there was no result. Now it seems that the genius is among those direct descendants of the Xiao family. Ding, the mission is released. Rescue the legendary genius of the Xiao family, complete the mission to get generous rewards. Hear machine sounds coming from the system. Xiao Xian felt a little happy, and at the same time decided to practice in seclusion and break through to a new level. During this period, we will mainly go to the back mountain to practice in seclusion. Please remember to take good care of these flowers and plants. Xiao Xian asked Xiao Junlin before leaving. Xiao Junlin was still respectful on his face, but he kept complaining about Xiao Xian in his heart. But saw Xiao Xian's figure disappearing in front of him. Xiao Junlin suddenly felt bored. He was a little uncomfortable without someone to scold. This is really mean. Xiao Xian can't control that much anymore. He needs to seize the time to break through now. Since the system has prompted. That proves that the enemies we will face this time will at least be strong men in the Dongxi realm. With his current level of cultivation, he is not yet capable enough to compete with the powerful ones in the Dongxi realm. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of the Xiao family. Cultivation realm, 7th level of Dao realm. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique, can reach the top of the immortal way after completing the practice. Cruel Wolong, can cut through the void with the sword after completing the practice. 8-stage slash, can reach the third level after practicing. Weapon, the top heavenly weapon, the waning moon sword. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, Wanjian Cave, Thousand Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Sky Monument. Supernatural powers, Bei's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, breaking 10,000s of strength, Aurora, invincibility, extreme speed. During this period, in addition to his cultivation level, he was promoted to the 7th level of the Great Dao realm. Others have also made progress. Especially the sword power, which has already achieved great success and reached the great perfection, and is about to understand the secret of the sword power. Now the sword power is perfect, plus the blessing of other magical powers. His sword moves have reached the point of perfection. In addition, he also learned a new magical power. Jingbang can store the full strength of the sword and explode at the critical moment. The power of the explosion is 10 times the original. And this move has also become his life-saving killer move. When I learned that the genius of the Xiao family was coming to Tianzhou, Xiao Xian also thought about going to search, but with his current strength, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Therefore, the best way is to improve your own strength. 2 months' time. The overall strength of the Xiao family has once again greatly increased. The number of powerful people in the realm of golden bodies and gods has increased significantly. He has almost become the mainstay of the Xiao family. The 9 elders also broke through and reached the low realm. Nanming also gradually stabilized under the leadership of Xiao Qingyun. And Xiao Qingyun's strength also increased after annexing the 3 major dynasties. Directly break through to the Dzogchen realm of law. This cultivation speed even exceeds that of Xiao Jiangxin and other geniuses. The king of gossip, Xiao Yanyao, has also grown by leaps and bounds during this period. He is also a well-known genius of the Xiao family in Tianzhou. It's just that he relies on that mouth that makes people angry and doesn't pay for their lives. It truly explains what it means to be strong and not just talk. Those at the same level couldn't beat him, and those with a higher level were afraid of Xiao Jiangxin. If you go further, you are afraid of Xiao Xian. All in all, I just can't stand him and can't kill him. Almost everyone who has fought against him hates him with itch. There were even many people who wanted to form a group and beat him up severely. Compared to Xiao Yanyao, Xiao Jiangxin's combat prowess deserves more attention. Now in the low realm, he is no longer practicing in Tianzhou, but has gone to a farther place. And this time in the competition held by the Arctic Empire. Xiao Jiangxin relied on her super strength to defeat the powerful low realm masters one after another. Especially the sword that defeated the Holy Sun at the pinnacle of the low realm in the finals. It is known as the swordsman's most powerful sword and is even recorded in the annals of history. This sword not only won the championship, but also won the hearts of many girls. Even the eldest princess of the Arctic Empire sent an invitation letter to her. Xiao Jiangxin's kendo is widely spread by more and more people. Countless people feel that Xiao Jiangxin's swordsmanship is better than Xiao Xian's. No matter how powerful Xiao Xian's swordsmanship is, he is still from the older generation. Xiao Jiangxin serves as Xiao Xian's personal mentor and has a lot of experience outside. The sword of the Arctic Emperor shocked everyone even more. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is more powerful than Xiao Xian. Although this was denied by Xiao Jiangxin himself. He also said that his swordsmanship was not 1,000th as good as Xiao Xian's. But no one wanted to believe it. On the contrary, they thought he was too humble. Compared with Xiao Jiangxin, Jamal Xiao and Xiao Yan are both relatively well known in their respective fields. Xiao Yan has been wandering around in various secret realms all year round, looking for all kinds of strange fires. There are even legends that he once killed a strong man who was half a step into the Dao realm with a single move of fire palm. Under Yao Lao's guidance, he became an outstanding alchemist. Level up challenges are no longer a problem. Every time I come back from outside experience, I can bring a lot of resources to the family. Many tribesmen even made bets between him and Xiao Jiangxin. Who is better between the two, but only the two of them know the final result. Jamal Xiao relied on his Mjolnir and Thunder ceremony to find famous geniuses from all over the world to challenge him. If you win, you will be replaced by the next one. If you lose, you will continue the challenge. His attitude of never giving up or admitting defeat scared many talented people to take a detour when they saw him. Compare the three of them. Xiao Qingyuan seems much more mysterious. As the monarch of a country, her strength increased significantly after annexing three major dynasties. Coupled with the blessings of the imperial seal and the supreme divine court, its combat power is even more terrifying. It was rumored among the people that a strong man from the great Dao realm of the Blood Knife sect had tried to control her, but was killed instead. Even when fighting against Xiao Jiangxin, he could still retain his strength under his killing sword. Even Xiao Xian sighed for this. Other geniuses of the Xiao family also gradually emerged. There are more or less achievements in various fields. Many of the newborns born in the family are innate spiritual bodies, and even have extremely unnatural talents. The Xiao family is also developing towards a better trend. And at this time, in a huge dynasty, a man in Xingyi fell to the ground with a bloodless face, clutching his chest. Judging from his condition and injuries, it seems he won't live long. Beside him was a gray-haired old man. The old man himself was seriously injured, but he was more worried about the man in green in front of him. At this moment, he was kneeling next to the man in green with eyes filled with horror and distress. How could they do such a heavy hand? The man in green gave a bitter smile. Uncle Yuan, you don't need to worry. My heavenly bones have been dug away and I have been severely damaged. Time is running out. The old man was so ashamed that he covered his face and cried. It's all my fault that I'm not good at protecting you. The young man waved his hand. I don't blame you for this. I thought I had concealed my awakening of the heavenly bones well, but I didn't expect them to find out. What's even more ridiculous is that I am actually grateful for their little charity. How young I am after all. Uncle Yuan's face was full of anger. They are so cruel. You are a relative of theirs. You have made such a contribution to the family, and they can still kill you. If your uncle was still alive, how dare they do this to you? The young man waved his hands and sighed. I should have thought of it after my uncle died, but I didn't expect them to be able to do this. Now they are still chasing us, we must hurry up and get on our way. In the past few days, I have often dreamed of the face of the Xiao family uncle when I was in Tianzhou. Let's go there. Being able to end this life there can be regarded as a fallen leaf returning to its roots. Uncle Yuan sighed when he heard this, and then started on his way with the young man. And not long after they left, the soldiers who were chasing them followed them here. Hurry up and chase after him. The man has been seriously injured and won't live long. Even an immortal can't defeat so many of us. At this time, Xiao Xian had come out of seclusion, and his realm had broken through the 8th level of the Great Dao realm. Name, Xiao Xian. Identity, head of the Xiao family. Cultivation realm, 8th level of Dao realm. Exotic treasures, jade pendant and ring of the head of the family. Martial skills, Tianyu Xianfeng sword technique, can reach the top of the immortal way after completing the practice. Cruel Walong, can cut through the void with the sword after completing the practice. 8-stage slash, can reach the 3rd level after practicing. Weapon, the top heavenly weapon, the waning moon sword. Family buildings, Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, Family Residence, Wanjian Cave, Thousand Buddha Hall, Enlightenment Sky Monument. Supernatural powers, Bai's Hang, Sword Domain, Poji, breaking 10,000s of strength, Aurora, Invincibility, Extreme Speed. All abilities have also improved a lot. The whole body exudes an aura of calmness and self-power. As soon as he came back from the back mountain, he bumped into Xiao Junlin, who was coming back from the tiling spring in the back mountain. Damn old bastard Xiao Xian, even if the spiritual spring is in the back mountain, you can't use magic yet. Isn't this a deliberate attempt to trouble me? When I saw Xiao Xian appear in front of me, I felt the momentum around him. The old bastard came out so quickly. It seems that this is a breakthrough. This is not only an old bastard, but also an old monster. But there is something I don't know whether I should tell him or not. After all, it is related to the life and death of the Xiao family's genius. But how should I speak? Judging from the false eyes, the genius cannot make it to Tianzhou and will return to the west in the next 2 days. Xiao Xian naturally heard Xiao Junlin's slander. Now he is already at the 8th level of the Great Dao realm. Coupled with the understanding of sword power and the blessing of various magical powers, fighting against the cave virtual realm is no longer a problem. So he took the initiative to ask Xiao Junlin, "What's going on?" He looks very worried. Xiao Junlin was worried about how to tell Xiao Xian. Seeing that the other party took the initiative to ask, he casually borrowed an excuse. "I heard that a big secret realm has appeared in the northwest of Tianzhou recently, and it is said that there is a peerless treasure in it." After speaking, he even blinked and looked at Xiao Xian, waiting for his reply. A peerless treasure, the old and immortal will definitely be particularly interested. Unexpectedly, Xiao Xian turned his back to him and replied lightly. "Oh. Xiao Junlin. That's it? Gone. Not moved."